Good morning, people. Blue morning, rather. Welcome back to the Blue Morning Show. We're back again. It's been a while since we've had the show due to personal reasons, but we're back. That's a good thing. So overall, more importantly, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Please take off, accept whatever suits your time zone. But more importantly, blue morning to you because it is in fact the Blue Morning Show. Today we're going to talk about Chelsea's three consecutive FA Cup final losses, which hasn't happened before in our history. We're going to look at them, analyze the games one by one, and try to find out why that is, why it has happened like that. And it's important to note, as much as Thomas Tuchel has made so much history at Chelsea, he's also been on the wrong side of history also, although he didn't start this trend of FA Cup final loss, but he's lost two in a row. That is something to be concerned about. So sit tight, relax, and give us the opportunity to entertain you. Let's get into it. Hi, welcome back to Chuck's Perspective. It's always nice to have you around. I hope you're doing it well. And first of all, Nick Blue, I've sent you the link to the panel on your Twitter DM. Please check to be sure. If that's not the case, you let me know. I will resend it, but I think I've done so. I'll try to send it again. Ty, again, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. How are you doing?
Still a bit shaken up by this result. I don't know. I don't know if it's still real. To me, I think I'm dreaming because to me the final didn't feel like a final. I thought the season ended a long time ago, and this was pre-season. And then when I looked at the fixtures, I realized that we have that final on Saturday, and I was like, I thought the season ended because to me, I thought the season was already over.
Yeah, I get your point. One could argue actually that that's an understatement. Some people are heartbroken. Some say they're having a mental breakdown, which I don't blame them. It is something we talked about during the pregame show. We didn't want that to happen. We
Yeah.
did not want that to happen because it's a bad record. And when it gets to such extent, it is usually very difficult to break it because it becomes a jinx. Some people will call it a curse. I wouldn't call it that. At this point, it's not a curse yet. I think it is something. Let's say by the end of the show, we'll figure out what it is. But let me talk to you, Ty. Talking about Thomas Tuchel's, the history he's made at Chelsea. It's been to how many finals in total? I think six. Correct me if I'm wrong, or
Yeah,
even
that's
more.
six,
Yeah, and
and three
he's lost
trophies.
how many of them?
Three
He's
of them.
lost three of them. And then on the wrong side of history, also, he's lost three and he's lost two consecutive FA Cup finals. He's
Mm.
also lost three consecutive home games. Two things that hasn't happened in Chelsea history. Is that a concern to you in any way?
Well, yes and no. I mean, sometimes things happen. Obviously, we know that the team itself isn't really of the highest level in terms of consistency, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, in a sense, he chooses who plays, and I mean, based on and sometimes I don't know the credibility of training because I keep saying this. With
Mm-hmm.
training, you don't really see what they'll do in game because you play against your teammates in training. The intensity won't be the same because you're on the same team, so you're not gonna be showing the same intensity that you'll have for your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes training isn't really the best thing to say. Oh, this player is gonna be doing this. He's gonna have this type of performance in this game. So it has to do with the squad as well, but it also has to do with the players that he chooses as well. his substitutions, which players he gives more chances than some, and the players that he gives more time on the pitch when a sub can happen before that. So yes, it is concerning in that sense, but I mean at the same time, the team isn't up to the highest level that whoever he chooses, he can be hopeful that they'll put on a good performance, and we don't really have that really. And I mean, we've already discussed it so many times that we have starters and then we have players who are just players to sit on the bench. We don't have the squad depth
Mm.
or the quality in that squad size.
Yeah, it is a concerning trend, or however you want to phrase it. Again, yeah, and let's talk about this, Ty. I know, yeah, you're correct. We've talked about this so many times. We've come to find out the hard way that we don't really have a good squad depth. We have, like you mentioned, alluded to, we have starters and we have backups. And whenever the starters aren't playing, we have a big problem. And I think we're seeing that firsthand right now. So the question I want to ask, usually when history repeats itself in this manner, it is usually difficult to break. What do you think it would take to break such, should I say undesired, or and I wouldn't say undesired, yeah, maybe you could call it undesired history because it's going to be really difficult.
Obviously, I think developing a different team. There's a lot of players in the team that a couple of games or in a month they'll perform good, and then the next month they don't perform good. And we've seen that, especially with Hakim Ziyech. You have Werner, you have Havertz, and you do have Lukaku. You have a lot of players who they'll have this purple patch, and then eventually they'll drop back into something that has been expected from them from a very long time, and
Mm,
and I mean it's something that it is concerning, but it also has to do with the personalities that we look for. We're looking for in a talent ID, and in that talent ID, we see something and like, oh, this player is scoring this amount of goals. Let's just bring him into the team, and he'll do the same thing here. We have unrealistic expectations for players without actually scouting them, see where their weaknesses are, see where their
mm-hmm,
strengths are, see how they react when their teams are losing games. What do they try to do to impact the team? What do they try to do? And that's the personalities that we've lacked. Since we lost Drogba, your Hazards who will try their best to try to fight for the team, get a goal for them if they're 1-0 down, try to at least get a draw to the game. We don't have that in players. Sometimes they'll be pressing, they'll be playing high, and then when they press high, that's when you start to concede more because you're so desperate to score that you're all over the place. So I think it has to do with developing a different team, and it also goes back to having to back Tuchel in that sense because I mean people are blaming him and rightfully so in some sense, but to really call for his head and say that he needs to leave, I don't know. He just starting over the pattern. The team itself is an issue. The manager is doing a lot of things that are questionable, but he has to work with what he has. And I mean, he doesn't really have a lot. And I mean, it came out that Werner was also injured, and that's the reason why he couldn't come on. So I mean, he had to force on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Then he substituted him off, brought on Barkley. So I mean, it's down to when you look on the bench, when you compare the other teams around us bench to ours, you can see that it smells different. They have a better bench in terms of quality players. The names don't sound shiny and beautiful, but when those players come on, they can impact a game. So that's what we don't have. We don't have players who are impactful. We don't have the players that have that frame of mind that my team is 1-0 down. My team is 2-0 down. Let's try to get a goal out of it. Let's try to do something, push forward, and not leave ourselves susceptible to losing game after game. But we don't really have
mm,
that. And that's just down to us not just signing personalities who we see are scoring this amount of goals, doing this, doing that. And we're not really looking at the long term effect of what they'll do if their team is going on a purple patch and the patch is them losing games. But I don't know. I think it has to do with developing a team. But I've always said that this process is going to take a lot of years. It's not going to be fixed in one summer or two windows. It's going to take a long term thing. We're going to have to accept us winning a couple trophies here and there, because with this squad, we won't really go too far if we don't rectify the issues that are in the team, because there's a lot of issues that need to be fixed, and not all of them can be fixed in one summer.
Yeah, let me quickly breeze through the chat because there are some important comments there. Nick, I don't think there's any good reading Nick's because he's here, but he says, "Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. No excuses for the loss. We simply are not good enough, mentally poor. Mount must not take penalties. Pulisic should have won us this game. At least again, it's only natural with us Chelsea fans to find people to blame. So I don't blame Nick on that one." And True Blue here says that some systems are nosy, yet Liverpool FC actually missed a couple of open goals, hitting post Jota over bar. They had clearer chances, and that's the truth. That's absolutely the truth. Even if we had scored all our goals and Liverpool scored all their chances too, I think they'd still win the game. Save us up to get penalty taker on. He was only also taken to EM. He put a pens list again, something like that. Nick Blue Jota missed 2 open goals. Yeah, that's the truth. Even and what's his name? Diaz missed quite a lot. And was it Robertson, or how'd you say his name? Why blaming Pulisic? Yeah, again, it's only natural that we blame players. That's why we are Chelsea fans. And Nick, True Blue here says, Nick Blue, has Ancelotti got his own squad? Stop excusing him. Ten Hag has just won 3 in a row and got the Manchester United. No signings are in his. He always has his best players sold. Again, you must put that into consideration too. Where we mentally soft at Madrid, no, we weren't. Again, True Blue, I hear you. What if we won? Will you be mad at those subs? Again, I think True Blue sounds like somebody I know, and I am like that too. Even when we win games, I'm always objective. I try to find areas where we could have done better that we didn't do well. I don't always just keep appraising the players even they play badly and we win our games. That has happened on occasions, but that's by the way. I'm going to come back to the panel before we start analyzing each of those FA Cup finals. Nick, I'm going to ask you, Nick. I know you're experienced enough. You followed the game long enough to know that whenever history repeats itself like it's doing right now, should I say it becomes a jinx? It becomes a bigger problem for the players or the team to navigate, even sometimes because it's something that exists when you play. It plays into your head. What do you think it would take for Chelsea as a club to overcome? Because it's a jinx now, Yaki. I guess you could call it that, or this problem of not winning the FA Cup final.
Yes, you can say a jinx, but more mentality in our players at the moment. We've had this problem most of the season. The second part of the season, it's been like that.
Mm-hmm.
Losing to Everton, losing to Arsenal, getting thrashed by Brentford. That's mentality. What are these players thinking of? And I don't blame True Blue is wrong, 100% wrong, because it's not Tuchel's fault. He got it wrong, I admit. When Tuchel gets it wrong.
We're going to talk about whether it's Tuchel's fault. Let's not give it away. Right now, we're saying, how do we overcome that issue?
Yeah.
If you're in the chat, let me say this again, Nick. I know you understand what I mean. I know you're not happy about what True Blue said, but we'll talk about whether it's Tuchel's fault or not. And believe me, to some extent, I think it's his fault. What we're saying right now, you agree it has become a jinx since it has happened the third time.
Yeah.
In such situations, when something like that happens, they say third time is a charm. Third time can be a charm in a positive way or in a negative way. If it happens the third time and you're not able to overcome that situation,
yes,
it becomes a jinx, and it's usually difficult to break. So what do you think will happen before that jinx breaks?
That jinx will break when Tuchel gets his own players in, and quite a few of these players are gone. I don't want to get rid of Jorginho, Kanté, over. That's our spine, and I hope they still be here next year. But we have to add players like Shermani to play a cover for Kante because he ain't going to play many games next year, and we have to add an attacker. If Lukaku, I don't blame Lukaku yesterday. Pulisic was finding him. He had chances to pass the ball and he would have scored. I'm really pissed off with Pulisic yesterday because, that's not mentality. That's rubbish. He should have at least scored one goal. He had enough chances. I don't want to hear anything else. I'm really pissed off. I'm really angry because, he should have had a goal. Alonso, great player today. And he was unlucky. He hit the bar with that great shot. But we had more clear chances than Liverpool. Don't give me that rubbish, True Blue. We had more clear chances. But anyway, we went to penalties. What do we do at penalties? We choose the wrong players. This is where I blame Tuchel. I don't know if he chose or he told them who wants to take a penalty. But I'm sure Rudiger or Silva wouldn't have said no. Why put
Let's do this. Nick, we haven't come to that game. Remember, we're talking about 3 FA Cup games. You've answered the question I want, and I think you give me a good answer. We'll come back to the game. We'll take them one by one. We'll start from the Arsenal loss at Wembley. But I get your question. So please, I'll come back to you. I hope you're okay with that, Nick. Let's not give away the review of the game yesterday. Yeah. We haven't come to that. We're still talking about how we think we can break the jinx because it has become a jinx.
You can't just say it's a jinx. All right, every team jinx. There has, it happens to every team during the season. It's loss of form mostly. It's not a jinx. And we should have never lost this cup final. I was so confident to go and win this. And we, first off, we started bad, but anyway, I won't mention the game we talk later. But it's not about the jinx. This is mentality problem on our players. Mason, my 2-year-old, my daughter's 2-year-old would have scored that penalty. That's no penalty. What's he doing?
All right, we'll come back to that. Let me quickly go through the chat. We have Tobago here, my brother from the Madiba land. Welcome back to the show. We're back and we will start cruising and growing together. And this is my brother, big up CFC for him. Big up gutted with loss. Yeah, I'm gutted too with loss. I'm heartbroken. I've spoken to a few of my friends in the Chelsea community. Some of them are mentally down. Some of them wouldn't even come onto the show. I'll give you a prime example. It's passion, I understand. Lionel Joel wouldn't even talk about Chelsea for a while. Same as my other brother, Helgi, and some others I wouldn't want to name, say they're down, they're mentally down, and wouldn't want to talk about Chelsea for a while. So it's hard to take because we didn't expect that to happen. And this is Chelsea Football Club that we're talking about. So it's on losing 3 FA Cup finals in a row, each of which are coming after that is 2020, 2021, and 2022. It's there are no excuses for that, but we'll take them one by one. And if you haven't, please go check out CFC for him YouTube channel. Subscribe to that channel, great channel, and something as Thai Talks CFC, also great channel and great content. Go subscribe to them. Please do. You will not regret it if you do. And this is True Blue saying Tobago. We didn't win. Did RSC change the game? Ziyech comes on and goes to the left where Pulisic left. Wasted the sub. Again, you could argue that the substitute he made a very, very poor substitutions. So he's to blame to some extent, if you ask me. True Blue, again, that's the conversation between the two. And this is D. Ludashenko. And Nick, somebody here, Tobago is saying stop calling players rubbish. And I think I agree with him. I know you didn't mean anything bad. That's how you talk. I think we shouldn't be calling players' name. I know you're a big advocate of that. D. Ludashenko, my brother, how are you doing? Nice to see you here. Yes, we're still champions no matter what happens until the final of the Champions League is played. We're still the current European champions and also world champions also. Nice to see you, my brother. I hope things are well with your people in Ukraine. And True Blue here says, okay, this time, I'm not heartbroken. I'm okay. The players gave their all. what's important going forward. We need to finish off games. And again, says to coin one of Nick's phrases, he is talking rubbish. A spine starts from the keeper, one in defense, one in midfield. No three DMs, of which only two ever play. Again, I'm gonna come back to the panel here. Ty, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Ty, let's start with the Arsenal FA Cup final. You recall how it all panned
Yep.
out?
Oh, I have PTSD from that final. Remember,
Mm,
we opened the scoring with Pulisic. It was a beautifully worked goal as well. I think Giroud had a touch to it, Mount had a touch to it, and then Pulisic scored it. And then after that, I think everything went downhill. I think Aspi got injured. Obviously, Kovacic got a red card. It was a debatable red card for a lot of people. Then everything went south. Arsenal scored. Or not Arteta. Aubameyang scored. He chipped it. Who was it? Who was it? Who's the goalkeeper again?
the
Uh,
goalkeeper for us that day was
Caballero. Caballero.
Cavallero.
Yeah. So he chips the ball over Caballero's head and completely duns him there. Obviously, I think there's a penalty as well. Was there a penalty? I think there's a penalty
Well,
as well.
here's the thing. Here's my argument, my counter argument to you. If you score enough goals to win a game, the referee decisions it won't be enough. It will be so blatant that is the referee would be so blatantly against you for it to impact the game. But on that day, really, I wouldn't make excuses why we didn't win the game. I think we were unlucky. Pulisic's injury. I think he was headed towards Arsenal's goal when he
Yeah, he
stopped
did.
and held his tie or something like
No,
that,
no,
right?
he was running with the ball, and then he took the shot, and then he went down, and then he was in pain, and then we had to take him
Mm-hmm.
off. So
So,
he was fighting through injury.
mm-hmm. So overall on that day, what do you think happened?
Honestly, people say we were robbed, and yes, I kind of agree with that. The referee did a lot of questionable things. The red card that Kovacic got, the fall wasn't really as dangerous as the red cards that we're seeing now. You get red cards for anything now, and compared to that, I'm seeing people get yellow cards for what Kovacic did, and rightfully so, because Kovacic didn't really do a lot of harm. His foot was just close to the guy's we call it his ankle side. But
Mm-hmm.
unless you're saying that it probably is an injury because of the friction when the studs more of the studs met, I don't understand what it meant. So there's a lot of questionable things in that final. Obviously, like you said, we started off ahead, and then we gave away a penalty. I think Aspi was the one that gave away the penalty, and then Aubameyang scores it. It's 1-1. The second half, Christensen was down. I remember this. Christensen, something happened with Christensen. I don't remember what happened, and he was down, leaving us susceptible. And then Aubameyang was able to run into the box, and then he chipped it over Caballero's head, and they scored. And then they scored.
Yeah, understood. And let me say this, Nick. Let me come to Nick, and I want to tell quantum of many topics. I think we're avoiding. Tell me how else I can send the link to you because I don't want to share the link in the chat. A lot of nonsense has happened to my fellow content creators, and I want to avoid that as much as possible. So I will try to find a way to send you the link. Just give me a few minutes. But before I do that, Nick, do you agree with Ty that we were robbed on that day?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we were robbed. That wasn't the Kovacic. Was it? Sorry, Pulisic sent it off. Was it Kovacic?
It was Kovacic.
Yeah,
Kovacic.
yeah. That wasn't no red card. We know that. That will kill us in Arsenal won. But we can't keep blaming these refs every game we lose now. It's getting a bad habit, right? We're blaming. We always have someone to blame. Anthony Taylor, VAR, all these. All right, they are giving us bad decisions, but we're not playing like we should be. Chelsea Football Club. for a long
Yeah,
time.
go
Yeah,
ahead, Nick. Go ahead. You were
we
still talking.
we haven't been, for a long time. The last time we were brilliant was at the Bernabeu when we lost to Real Madrid for the 2 legs. But that was the Chelsea we know. Where's that gone? I don't know. So it's mentality. It's the same players, so it's got to be mentality problem. And the other problem is Tuchel is playing with Sarri, Conte, and Lampard's players. He hasn't got his players yet. Forget Lukaku. I'm not sure. I don't think that's one of his players. But I don't blame Lukaku for yesterday. He didn't get the service. Not one ball probably crossed to him. Every ball was going over his head. No one. Mount looking at the floor as usual, doesn't know what he's doing. He's up and down, running up and down like a headless chicken again. So, don't tell me not to blame Mount. I love Mason Mount as a player, but he got it wrong.
You have every right to blame anybody you want to blame. We're just saying, let's try, like you've always told us, Nick. Let's try them as much as we can, and not to call
I know.
names.
Oh,
I know you're emotional. I understand totally.
I'm because we lost, but I love any player who wears that blue shirt. I love them. Hate Merchant, like some of our fans, especially some on Twitter, who love to blame Lukaku or anyone else, especially Lukaku. He's already they blame him Lukaku because we lost the final. That's how stupid they are. Honestly, yeah. I have my players. Ty knows that. You know that. I'll back any player who wears the blue shirt. Always have. All from my early days to now, always back the players, and we had very bad players in those days, second division days, very bad. Nothing compared to them players. To now, they couldn't be a under 10 Euro team than them players. That's why we did third division. But I still love them players and back them. So I'm just frustrated because I really thought we were going to get revenge yesterday, and it didn't work out because of Mason Mount mostly. I'm blaming Mason Mount because he had to shoot the ball anywhere. He's not at the goalkeeper, and it wasn't even hard enough. What's that all about? Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. Fahim, I'm going to come to you quickly, brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing better compared to last night. It's just frustrating that we've lost another FA Cup final. This was the game I was looking forward to. I literally didn't look forward to any Premier League games because we just finished in top 4. I was looking forward to this final, and I thought the players, yes, they're not performing well in the Premier League. I was hoping that their mind is set for this final, and they didn't deliver the trophy, but it is what it is.
Yeah, let me ask you this so that I'll bring you all to par before we continue. The question is this now, and I'm going to come back to another question. By the way, Phantom, I've sent it. Please check your email. The question I have for you: when things like this in football happen, repeats itself, when history repeats itself the way it's done right now in football, like it's 3 times in a row now for Chelsea Football Club, it becomes a jinx. And it's usually difficult to break. Nick said already that he would take Thomas Tuchel making his own signing desired players in all positions for it to work. For us to break that jinx. So what do you think it would take for Chelsea Football Club to break that jinx? Because it has become a jinx indeed.
I don't think it's a jinx. I think it's a mentality issue. It's the same in the Premier League. We're just finishing top 4 every single time in the last 4 years. It's the same crop. Some of them, look, the last 3 FA Cup finals, this is pretty much the same team that have lost the one under Lampard, one under last season, and this season. But this is a majority of the same players have let themselves lose another FA Cup final yesterday. It's a mentality issue. We've had this issue since Conte, where they just only think about finishing top 4, and then that's it. Like we
Okay,
don't
here's the thing.
actually,
Even if it is a mentality issue, how do we overcome it? What do you think will be done? Because the fact is something needs to be done for it to be overcome. If you're saying it's a mentality issue, then this crop of players will never overcome that. It will be very difficult.
yeah. So that's why I would believe like should just try and rebuild from back to front. Some of these players are leaving. Christensen, Asp, Rudiger, Alonso. A lot of these players are leaving this summer or potentially next summer. So it's going to take a big rebuild to actually replace some of these players. And then this mentality will come from Tuchel. It all stems down to Tuchel, whether he will instill this sort of mentality, this sort of monster mentality that like Klopp has done to his team. This is up to Tuchel now. If when he gets his players, the players will look up to Tuchel, and then they will actually not have this problem in finals or in league or anything like that. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
think these players like Asp, Alonso, all these players that have played for numerous under managers, they know that they have somewhat power in this club. Player power over manager power. How does that make sense? Like manager power should be greater than player power, but it's not it's not the case at Chelsea. We've always had player power literally put managers under the bus. Some of the players tried to do it with Tuchel, but by the looks of it, we just need a rebuild. Honestly, I think that's what we need. A rebuild.
All right, I'm going to quickly come back to the panel again. And by the way, if you haven't, please make sure to go check out CFC Fahim. He's approaching 500 subscribers right now. I think about 5 or 3 more subscribers to reach 500 subscribers. We can help him do that today. Great channel, great content, and that's why I love him. Over time, he's become a brother. I'm going to come to you in a big Phantom, and thank you for joining. Thank you for understanding why I wouldn't share the link in the chat here. Let me quickly breeze through the chat, and if you all remember, the Blue Morning Show is an interactive show. Here we have Tobago saying last season final, we're unlucky. That was a handball again, but the goal was allowed by question. My Alonso goal against Madrid was not allowed. Again, we cannot keep making these excuses, because had we taken our chances of score more goals, the referee shortcomings wouldn't be an issue for us. And here, True Blue says Coachila ref was biased. Telecenter Moses allowed a double handball and offside goal. Both games lost 2-1. So he was influenced twice. Taylor is the only ref to get the 2 FA Cup finals. Again, that might be the case. I think we will discuss that someday. And thank you for making that point. I'm okay with Anthony Taylor. He gave Leeds a red card in favor of Chelsea. Okay, that's reason enough to be okay with him. And Tribly, he says, Nick, stop going on about whose player they are mentally is instilled by coaches too. Yep, I think that's a good argument there. I'm coming on in a few minutes. Thank you, Tobago. I'll wait for you whenever you come on. Tribly says, I wonder if Liverpool fans would be slating Manny for his penalty. I don't think they will. And big up here to Almighty Blues FC. Hi, guys. Big up, Coachila. Big up to you too, brother. Nice to see you here. And if you haven't, please, he's 3K plus right now, and I'm happy he's doing well. Go and subscribe to Almighty Blues FC. Great channel, great content as well. He says, just be careful of who you allow in. Again, I know everybody that are in here, and I know I shared the link privately. So if anything goes wrong, I know who to, but I trust all the people here. That's why I refuse to share it in the chat. Sorry?
This was the very second what happened to me happened last week.
Yep, I understand. Just be careful of who you. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much for brother. Still got it. Yep, I'm still heartbroken. Some people say they're mentally down and all that. We need to grow up and please some luck again. But then again, I think we're not clinical enough, if you ask me. A lot. The Tuchel also has to take some of the blames. Mendes, Silva, Ziyech, Werner, Lukaku, etc. How is it the same? Again, a good question there. I'd even more so not get rid of Aspin now, cannot have all leaders go. I think in terms of leadership, I think we need to have him in the team. He doesn't necessarily have to be starting all games. I'm going to come to you, Phantom of many topics. You heard my question regarding whether this has become a jinx, whether it is not, whether it is a mentality issue or not. However you see it, it has happened 3 times in 3 consecutive years. So it's now a problem that's going to be difficult to solve. And whether you like it or not, it plays into the heads of the players, especially younger players. I know our players I think the average age right now should be 22, 23. I'm not sure. But do you think it's a mentality issue?
I think so. Let's take Timo Werner, for example. He didn't even get a chance in this FA Cup final. And what's he to think now? Has Tuchel completely I mean, he put in Barkley. I understand it was to get the penalty, but he had 5 subs and he could have brought in Timo Werner on top of Barkley.
Timo Werner was apparently injured.
Is Timo injured?
Apparently, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. He was still on the bench, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if maybe he's just in bad form, I don't know. I mean, but Havertz wasn't even on the list, so Havertz is injured, right? Because he wasn't even on the bench. But as far as Timo Werner is concerned, if he was injured, okay. But if he wasn't, then that's showing that Tuchel doesn't even want him next season. Isn't that right?
So, yeah. I don't think that's the case at this moment. But you have every right to argue that, given that he looked downcast when he warmed up, and then before you know it, he was relegated to the bench. Also,
I thought he wanted to play. He didn't look like. If you're injured, you shouldn't be on the list to be on the bench, right? Unless, I mean, put someone else on there. I don't know. I didn't watch most of the game. I only started watching during the extra time, and then as far as the shootout is concerned, I don't know if that's a jinx. So
the question I would ask you: do you think it's a mentality thing that we've lost? You said yes. Can you explain to us why you think it's a mentality thing?
I don't. Okay, I think that if Liverpool had to go through a loss of ownership and then had to pay for their own bus fare or whatever else that Chelsea players have been subjected to due to the attack on Abramovich, I mean, I think any team, whether it's Liverpool or Man City, would have had a morale problem. And I think this is a one-off this year. I think next year when you get Todd Bowley and everybody gets because remember, Chelsea also lost the support staff. There's, people who were massaging their leg is now, temporarily unemployed or whatever, right? I mean, not everybody in Chelsea. I mean, the souvenir stands, the people who are massaging, players' legs, a lot of them are not working right now, right? Chelsea is only working basically with 40% of the staff, right? Is that true? Because that's what I heard. So
no, I'm not really sure what's going on. Yeah.
I mean, you could say, oh, there's no excuses, but this stuff weighs on players after a few months. People get tired of, not having their due. So I don't think it's going to carry on into next season. And, if so, it's okay. I mean, it could be a rebuilding year next year. If we're going to get rid of Timo Werner, I guess we're going to get rid of him. But I thought that he should at least have had a chance to play. And by the way, the jersey I'm wearing is Real Salt Lake, which is my MLS team from.
I can see that. I recognize that because I've watched a few of their games. And now you make a good point. I'm going to ask you this question, Ty. I'll come back to you, but let me breeze through the chat. Here we have for the Samuel says it is the chances we miss. I think I agree with you on that one because, for instance, for yesterday's game, had we scored the chances, I think. Again, we must recognize that Liverpool also had many chances. And even if we scored all our chances, I think they'd score more than we do. But in some of those games, if we scored, I think the first one or the second one, again, we have to put away our chances also. So I wouldn't really say it's all about the chances we missed, but at least we should be more clinical in front of goal than we are. And if you haven't, please take some time to smash the like button to help us reach more people, and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Werner was on the bench and wasn't even warming up. Good, thank you for that correction there. I think the reason why we lose FA Cup, yep, I understand your point there, because Chelsea doesn't fit the. Okay, that's funny there. The only club can fit is mostly Arsenal. I see you're trolling now. Big up Coachila, the panel, and everyone in the chat. Thank you very much, my brother, DJ Sab. In a bit, I'll take some time to share the link with you in case you have time to join us here. Nice to see you again. I hope everything is good with you. Who only win FA Cup? Again, if this guy is trolling, if you're a mod there, please put them on timeout or just leave him to be contributing. I'll be skipping his comments. I was nice to like. Thank you very much and nice to see that. And Tribly says here, the players didn't pay for their own bus fares. Roman put 30 million in for wages, fees used, and misuse, not lost jobs. Club shops, tour and museums staff along with hotel. Okay, good. Thank you very much for that update. So, Ty, coming back to you, do you think it's a mentality issue?
Is Ty there?
Ty, are you still there? Okay, I'm going to skip Ty at this moment. I'm going to say hello to my sister, Chalma Joseph Kekim. This is too much. I hope we do better next season. I hope so. And Chalma, while you're at it, can you tell me why, how you think we will overcome this? Because it has happened for the third time. And the truth is, when something happens for the third time, they say third time is a charm. It can be that in a positive way or in a negative way. But this time, third time is a charm in a negative way. What do you think the club needs to do to overcome that? Now, Fahim, looking at this Arsenal game here, I'm going to come to you. Looking at it, Ty, when he talked about it, said we were robbed of this game. Do you think that's the case? Let's look at the referee on the day. The referee on the day was Anthony Taylor. Do you see any reasons why you would say the reason why we lost this game was because he was against us?
The red card, yes, because when you watch the replay, it was Granit Xhaka that actually fouled Kovacic. So he got that wrong, but we were doing well before we scored our goal, if I can remember. We were playing well. When Pulisic scored his goal, the intensity dropped from the team. So it's on the team as well for not actually keeping that intensity level high and just drop off after scoring a goal. So when Pulisic scored his goal, intensity level dropped, and Arsenal had the momentum to counter and to actually attack. And then when we allowed them to attack, they scored their 2 goals, and then the red card happened, and then there was just no way coming back, and we let Arsenal win the FA Cup. So it's not just a referee. Yes, I agree, it played a massive part. But before that red card, we also dropped our intensity level. If I can remember, I don't remember the full game, but I can only remember that Pulisic scored, and then we didn't try and score a second goal. We didn't try to score. We didn't look like we were up for a second goal. We just dropped off like usual.
And yes, Trauma, let me say something here. I'm not talking about the penalties. I'm talking about the 3 consecutive FA Cup final losses. That's what I am talking about. Now, Nick, and Fahim, let's establish this. Kovacic's second yellow was in the 73rd minute, right? And Arsenal scored their 2 goals in the 28 minutes and then 67th minute penalty by Aubameyang. So you think that the Mateo Kovacic second yellow and the red card, subsequently red card, was the reason why we lost that game?
I don't think it's the only reason. I'm not going to say that's the only reason, because I said this before, like we scored the goal, but the momentum should be on our side, not on Arsenal's side. But we dropped that momentum down and let Arsenal attack. So I'm not going to just blame all on the red card and the ref. Yes, it played a big part, but why did we let Arsenal score 2 goals before the red card?
Exactly, that's the point. That's the point.
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not all on the ref. Yes, it played a massive factor later on, but it's not the only factor. It's not the only reason why we lost. We let Arsenal score 2 goals before the red card, not after the red card.
Can I say something? Can I say something about Anthony Taylor? I think Anthony Taylor is a referee that just gives out a lot of red cards. And are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so in the game against Leeds, I mean, do you think that that Leeds deserved a red card? Sure. So Anthony Taylor is the kind of guy who gives out a lot of red cards. Sometimes it's against Chelsea, sometimes it's against Leeds. But we don't ever say, oh, he's unfair to Leeds because he gives red cards to Leeds. But, we always, I think there's this bias against Anthony Taylor because in one or two games, Chelsea got red cards. But Anthony Taylor's the kind of guy who just gives a lot of red cards when other referees probably would have given a yellow card, because other referees are more hesitant to give out red cards. Anthony Taylor's very trigger happy with red cards, but I don't think he has it in for Chelsea, like some of the Chelsea fans think. I watch Anthony Taylor in other games too. He just gives out more red cards than most referees, but I don't think it's biased against Chelsea.
And you think you don't? Do you also buy the idea that he was one of the reasons why we lost this game against Arsenal?
No, if players are purposely trying to injure other players or hitting other people on the shin or whatever, that's not allowed. Then refs should be giving out red cards. What I'm saying is that the Chelsea fan base thinks that Anthony Taylor has it out for Chelsea. And I don't think that's true, because look at how many red cards Anthony Taylor is giving out to other teams. He's not giving more red cards to Chelsea than any other team. It's just that when Chelsea gets a red card, we notice that. But when Leeds gets a red card, we never say, oh, Leeds shouldn't have gotten that red card in that game. Because we always go like, oh, yeah, Leeds deserves the red card because of, the fact that the guy was trying to take out his shin or whatever. But, I mean, sometimes you watch Rudiger or you watch Mount or Havertz especially, and they can get aggressive too. And sometimes the referees will give out yellow cards, but Anthony Taylor's a guy who likes to give out red cards. But I don't think he has it in for Chelsea. I've never bought into this bias thing that Anthony Taylor is specifically against us, because I'm watching Anthony Taylor give out red cards left and right to everybody else.
Can I ask you something? 1 minute.
Yes.
What about the game at Anfield when we went down to 10 men in that game, and that was Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, I saw that, and then Mendy came out and just
that was as well against us. We do have they have an agenda against us. Don't forget.
I really don't. I'm watching Anthony Taylor. He gives out more red cards than any other referee in the league. So I mean, he just tends to be the kind of guy who gives out red cards when other refs give yellow.
No,
I don't. He's against us.
Phantom, look, Anthony Taylor is a Liverpool fan. All right, and when we play them, he does everything possible for Liverpool. But every game we play them, they get the decisions when it's Anthony Taylor. And VAR as well is part of Liverpool.
I don't know anything about his background, but when I watch him give a red card against Leeds, does that mean he likes Chelsea? I mean,
here's the thing.
Pretty fair.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I think we all have good argument, and Nick, I'll come to you in a bit. I think the thing is he dishes out a red card a lot, but then again, there are reasons for Chelsea fans not to think that I think he does that a lot more when he officiates Chelsea games. Whenever he officiates Chelsea games, I'm nervous. I must speak the truth. But I get your argument. I think he dishes a lot of red cards in the league. That's not a lie. He does that a lot. Again, people will see it differently. Again, I don't have the stats to argue against you, but I think you make a good point. I'll come to you in a bit, Nick. Let me just go through the chat. And thank you for that great input there, saying, yeah, making the point, yes, it is true. Anthony Taylor dishes out a lot of red cards. Tribute says, playing with 10 men on a pitch the size of Wembley cannot be dismissed. It means you have to be cagey. Lampard played a double six. Guess what, Aubameyang strolled in. Good argument right there. Again, how many Leeds games has he watched? Again, he's asking you. But that's hilarious too. Don Raymond says, we all know that our forwards are average players. We don't have a smart and deadly forward. who can put ball in the net. We have been having this issue since the beginning of the season, since the era of Lampard. Again, that's our topic for another day. And again, Don Raymond, nice to see you here. Tribly, so here we go again. Kovacic was the one who was fouled, and that's the truth. Nick, coming to you, do you think the referee is one of the reasons why we lost this game? But you could also, to me, you could argue that had we, there are so many ways to see it, but then again, the officiating was poor on the day. Let me just ask you, do you think the referee was the reason why we lost this game? And you tell me why, if you think so.
The Arsenal game, yeah. The Arsenal game, yes. The referee did cause us to lose by sending off Kovacic. That wasn't a good decision for me. That wasn't a sending off, if I remember correctly, it wasn't. And the thing with Anthony Taylor, look, recently he's been a little bit better for us because of stick he got from the Chelsea fans. Against Liverpool. We were really giving him stick big, and he got to him. That's why he wasn't so bad against Leeds. That's the reason, Phantom. But he is a Liverpool fan, don't forget that. And there's an agenda against Chelsea from everyone, from the Premier League to the government to the officials. They want us to lose, that's all.
That's a topic for another day. Nick, what do you think? Do you think the referee is one of the reasons why we lost that game against Arsenal?
The main reason we lost, yes. Not the 2 goals.
Can you tell us how?
Because when even if we were losing 2-0, we got to go back. Yeah, and then we lost Kovacic. If we didn't, I think we would have beaten them, really. Well, we lost. I wasn't a red card. That's why we lost the game.
No, we scored first and we let them score 2 afterwards.
Yeah, you must remember. Exactly. Look at the screen. I hope you can see the screen, Nick.
Yeah, I forgot.
Can you see the screen?
I can't see.
Yeah, okay. Kovacic's second yellow card came in the 73rd minute, but Arsenal had already scored 2 goals in the 28th and the 67th minute.
Yeah, and then we lost Kovacic. We lost. He got sent off when we were losing.
After we scored 2.
Yeah, so he was 2-1 tired. Yeah.
It was 2-1. Yeah, it was 2-1 before Kovacic got sent off.
That's what I'm talking about. Then we lost Kovacic, and that's why we lost. And Anthony Taylor, that wasn't a red card.
Yeah, I agree on that. But my problem is that why did we let them score 2 goals? We were doing well at the start, and then we dropped off.
Yeah, we dropped off. You're right, and bad defending, bad midfield, wrong positions. Lampard always. He got it wrong. He got it wrong too many times when he was the manager, and he got it right a couple of times. He wasn't we know he ain't a top manager. You know that. Yeah, I blame Lampard as well.
I haven't asked you this. Phantom? Yes. You haven't told me what you think, because whether it is a mentality thing or not, it's going to be difficult to overcome because it's there.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that it's a coincidence. It's just 3 games. We did
even
well.
Coincidence at some point. Listen, I understand your point that it's a coincidence. When a coincidence happens the first time, the second time, and the third time, it becomes a problem. It becomes a serious problem. Because it can be, should I say, a psychological problem that it plays into your head, knowing that, okay, you've tried on 3 occasions and you were not able to overcome it. Don't you think?
We win the semifinals at Wembley. It's the same stadium. And I mean, it's not the stadium, I don't think, because we win the semifinals at Wembley, right? Don't we play at Wembley for the semifinals?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
Yeah, so I really think that people are just making clouds. I don't remember the word for it, but you see clouds in the sky and you see a face, and then you think that there's a certain thing going on when it's just coincidence. And I think that this is very good for us that Todd Bowley is going to be the new owner. I think it's going to be fresh air. There's going to be 3, 4, 5 people leaving, and we're going to get in some new blood. And Tuchel will be able to pick his because I think Todd Bowley is going to just give Tuchel the players that Tuchel wants, and I'm pretty sure that Tuchel doesn't want half this team. But he had, he was just faced with a situation he had to deal with. But I'd like to see a team kind of like Klopp took 3 or 4 years to build his team. I'd like to give Tuchel 3 or 4 years to build Tuchel's team, and you could say, oh, yeah, okay, so Tuchel was willing to accept Lukaku, but I'm sure Lukaku was not his first choice.
Here's one thing. I know you followed the game. All of us here on the panel and in the chat have followed the game long enough to know when you make too many changes to a team, they don't click easily.
Right. That's what we call PSG,
yeah,
right?
That creates another problem. So I don't think that makes it even easier to overcome.
But I think Tuchel has a specific kind of player he wants at every position. And if he could get those kind of players that he wants, I think, because he built Mainz, right? He built Dortmund. After Klopp left, Dortmund had a problem and he fixed it, and same thing with Mainz. So I think Tuchel has a certain way of building a team, and he knows the players he wants, and so we can get rid of the players that of course he wanted to keep Rudiger, but for some reason Rudiger really wanted to leave Chelsea. I think we don't know the backstory, but we're starting to. I think that after this season, probably Rudiger will tell a lot more about why he wanted to leave. And I don't think he wanted to leave Tuchel necessarily, but just because he was just frustrated with else is going on.
Okay, thank you for that input. Let me quickly go through the chat because this is an interactive show, and I have my brother DJ Sav here with the CFC Blues, where the comment says was at the match yesterday. Too many missed chances, as we all know. The penalty shootouts are a lottery. We missed 2 of us. A good argument, but here's the point. Liverpool also missed quite a lot of chances, even more than we did. And remember, they were the ones that had the first few chances in the game. They pressured us from the start of the game to around the 17th minute, and had they scored 4, so I don't don't buy the argument that the reason we lost was because we missed a lot of chances, because they could have scored first.
Yep.
And would be in serious trouble had they done that. So the argument that we missed a lot of chances didn't help us because they created even more chances than we did. Fahim, your thoughts on this are coming from DJ.
Yeah, I agree that we missed a lot of chances, but they missed some big chances. Robertson hit the post. Diaz had chance. It was cooking. It literally made Chalobah, I don't know, like that right-hand side in the first 20 minutes, Diaz could have scored. Like, they had a lot of chances. I think people are forgetting that we were lucky that we were not 1-0 down in the first 20 minutes of the game. First 20 minutes of the game, Chelsea were very, very poor. And then afterwards, I think Tuchel made some adjustments in defence afterwards by making Reece James a little bit more defensive than attacking. And then that's when Diaz became a little bit more quieter, but they missed huge chances. We were lucky. We were not 1-0 down, 2-0 down. And yes, our attackers missed chances, but I think we were lucky. We were actually lucky.
Yep, we were lucky to even get to penalties because they had more big chances than we did. Diaz was, mopping the floor with our defense, and he had quite a few clear chances, even more chances than we did. But I get where DJ Sav is coming from. Nick, your thoughts on this coming from DJ?
Yeah, what's he saying? Oh, he was at the game, yeah.
Yeah, he's saying we had a lot of chances and we didn't take our chances, and that's the reason why the game went to penalties. And now it went to penalties, which is lottery. We didn't win.
I agree with the chances, but the penalties, no. We can't keep saying it's lottery, bad luck. The League Cup, okay, that was bad luck. We kept on coming up to take the last one and missing. That was a lottery. We were unlucky. But we can't keep saying it's a lottery. It was bad. mentality from Aspie, as well. He hit the post. Usually he scores that. But I understand Aspie. But, the most important one was Mason Mount. You had to score. And that's not a lottery for me. That was a very bad penalty from Mason Mount. You can't keep saying it's a bad luck. We have to.
So, Nick, you agree with DJ that one of the reasons why we lost is that we created chances, missed too many chances. Liverpool created twice as much, possibly twice as much as chances, and missed them all. So I don't think the reason we lost was because we missed those chances, because they pressured us from the first minute to almost the 17th minute and could have scored before us.
Yeah, but look, we had more clear-cut chances. Alonso won. He only had one. He hit the bar. All right, that was unlucky. But Pulisic had to score just one goal.
I think we will look at it when we get to that game. But go ahead.
Pulisic, he had chances. I like Pulisic. He was playing good. He was running up everywhere. But the problem is, when he had the chances to score, he didn't get the ball in the net. And you can see when he went off, you see him sitting there shaking his head because he knew he should have scored one goal. I would have scored a goal in that game, let alone Pulisic. This is not a lottery for me. The penalties, Mason Mount was ridiculous. He should never be allowed to take a penalty in the rest of her career at Chelsea. I don't know why they put him up to take a penalty, because he never comes good when it's a big game. He can cross, he can run. Even his running is not so good because he doesn't look up. That's why Lukaku couldn't get in the game, by the way. Lukaku, he was there, but they wasn't getting the ball to him like we did against Leeds. And against Leeds, we were a different team. And you can't say...
I'll come back. I think we'll look at the stats because we have the stats on the screen. But go ahead, Nick, when we get to that game, because the second game we're going to look at was the loss against Leicester City last year. Yeah. Go ahead, Nick, if you still have a point to make.
I was just going to say, it wasn't because of... lot, especially I was talking about Mason Mount. Mm-hmm. Any player would score that, at least make it hard for the goalkeeper. You can't, after the game, all right, he's upset. Of course he's upset. But there's no excuses. It wasn't down to the lottery. It was down to poor mentality. Like we said before. We haven't got the mentality at the moment, and that's why we keep losing. And and I'm sure Tuchel will change it next year. He has to get them players, brain tested or something. The ones who are staying, that is. The ones who are going, good luck to them. But I don't blame Lukaku like a lot of fans. I put, the blame is going already to Lukaku. The haters are coming out in force again. That makes me sick. But, if Lukaku wants to go, for me, I heard rumors that Lewandowski is a good option, and Chelsea are thinking about it. And that's what the player I want, Lewandowski. I've been saying it for the last 6 months. I want Lewandowski. Cool. Then you got to see a different Chelsea.
He was my very first choice from last year.
Coach, can I say something?
All right, we'll come to that. Go ahead, Fahim. You wanted to say something?
Look, these attackers are not bad attackers, right? These attackers just need high volume of chances. You look at Liverpool's front three. They missed bare chances yesterday, right? They need a lot of chances, a lot of volume of chances for them to score. It's the same story with our attackers. Timo Werner at Leipzig had massive volume of chances. He needs the same in this team. Our issue is creativity. We don't have creative midfielders. We don't create enough chances. If you look at the stats in terms of chances that Havertz and Mount and Werner, Lukaku get, it's not as the level of Man City's attackers, not the same level as Liverpool's attackers. So it's a creative creativity issue that we have in this team. Ever since we lost Hazard, we've not replaced him properly. We've not actually brought in creative players. We thought Ziyech would be that player, and he could be, but honestly, I think he doesn't suit how we want to play.
If utilized properly.
Yeah, he's not really utilized properly. So if that's the case, then we still have this creativity issue. So it's not the attackers are not bad. They're not relegation attackers. They're actually good attackers. They proved it. They've got that in them. Right now, their confidence is low. When they miss a chance, they feel like, you know what, I'm not going to get another chance because this team doesn't feed me enough chances for me to score. So that's where you see Timo Werner miss a lot chances because he feels like his confidence is now low and he feels like, okay, I'm not going to get another chance. That was my chance to score and I missed it. So it's a creativity issue that we have.
I think you make a very good argument there because the more chances you have, the more the possibility for you to score goes. And I think we're very predictable right now. Most of our chances come from crosses. The same thing, crosses all the time. And it's easy to defend because teams has figured that out. But that's, by the way, quickly before I continue, I'll go through the chat. Also, and I want to say welcome to my beloved brother, DJ Sav. Unfortunately for him, he was at the stadium. And I wouldn't say he wasted his ticket money, but he won't be happy. I know that.
Never.
But I'll come to you in a bit. Before we continue, I want to show you this. And this is CFC Fahim. This is his YouTube channel. He has, as you can see, maybe let me zoom out a bit. He has 497 subscribers, and I'm sure everyone here hasn't subscribed to his channel. If you haven't, please, from Sean Burner Football to Donna Raymond to TC to every other person here that hasn't subscribed to CFC for him channel, please do so. Let's help our brother get to 500. It's still about Chelsea and we're family here. Go do it for him. That would be great. Just 3 more subscribers for Fahim, CFC Fahim, to get to 500 subscribers. And I know we can do that for him. I'll keep preaching that until the end of the day. Let me breeze through the chat and then I'll come to DJ with a very important question. Here, DJ says, sorry, no comparison. They're not better. All games ended in draw this season, only beaten on penalty shootout. He's responding to somebody here. And Glenn here says, a big up, Blues. Big up to you, Glenn. Nice to see you here. And here we have... okay, yeah, this is my brother talking about the link. Our subs at the end were a bit dodgy. Roma for Ziyech, who are better together. RSC on only to come off for Backley. Yep, that was some drama there. One that I was surprised. I don't know why he brought him on in the first place and then took him off immediately. That doesn't help a player's confidence, and that can cause some issues in the dressing room in some cases. But that's, by the way, again, Nick Jota missed a 2 without a keeper inside, hitting the bar from 5 feet. Mount took one because others didn't want to. Without Aspi hitting post, we win. It's a lottery. Mane isn't saved. And that, again, he says here, let me read what he says here. Nick, I can't say that again. Nick saying up people blaming Lukaku, but it's blaming Mount. What about goals and assists to get us there? Again, it makes sense. I think Fahim make a very strong argument there that we need to create more chances because the higher the number of chances you create, the more chances you have to score goals. But before we get to that, I want to ask my brother DJ this question. We've lost our 3 FA Cup finals in a row. To me, if you ask me, I'll say it's become a jinx, whether it was the referee's fault in one of them, whether it wasn't referees, or whether it was our players' performance in one of them, whether it was the coach's fault in any of them. Once it happens 3 times, it becomes a huge problem to overcome. And to me, I would say it is now a jinx. My question is, what can be done for the club to overcome it?
Big up, first of all, thanks for letting me coming onto your show, Coachila. It's always a pleasure being on your show. Big up to the panel.
More thanks to you, brother. More thanks to you.
And big up to everyone in the comments. Look, listen, on the 3 finals that we've been in, I think what we've got to remember, Anthony Taylor did play a part, and this is not, and I know, I can't remember who was saying it earlier on, was saying he doesn't think Anthony Taylor is against Chelsea. I think you find in the final in the FA against Arsenal, that sending off of Kovacic was unnecessary. It should not have been a sending off. I think anybody watching that game would have known that. That was no way a sending off. And for that, I do blame him for that. As for the other two finals, I can't think of any bad ref decisions. I mean, the Leicester game again, Leicester scored that wonder goal. We had our chances in that game, we didn't take them. And as for yesterday, the same situation again. Liverpool had the best clear-cut chances in the game. We still had our chances, but what it was in front of goal yesterday was a waste of finishing. And people go on about Mason Mount getting all the. I've heard a lot of Mason Mount slack from people. I think when people actually watched the game yesterday, he was trying to do things yesterday in the game to try and get us to win. And there were a few times when he, I think there was a few times when he got Pulisic away a few times. He had times when he was actually on goal to score a goal. And his finishing yesterday, I have to say, Pulisic, and I've got so much respect for him because I do like him as a player. But his finishing yesterday was absolutely ridiculous. He missed some he missed some cut chances as well yesterday. And had he put those in, we would have probably won that game yesterday. Obviously, Liverpool hit the post twice. We hit the bar from an Alonso free kick, But look, it was one of those situations yesterday. And as I said, when I talk about the penalty shot,
quick. So nice to see you again.
Yeah, big up, Nick.
I respect you a lot. Mate, Pulisic, all you had to do is score one goal, and we were.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm trying to say, Nick.
I know that. I agree with you. But about Mason Mount, he had a good game. 90 minutes, he was good. But that penalty, I don't know what he was thinking. That's what I don't hate.
We will get to that game. We'll get to that game. I'm still waiting for you, DJ. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just saying, but if you think about it, Mason Mount scored in the Carabao Cup final. If we're going to look at it that way in the penalty shootout, so he missed yesterday. It's unlucky for him. He missed yesterday. It was a really bad penalty. I agree, 100%. He should have put it somewhere else, but he more or less put it in the goalkeeper's hands to save it. Yes, it was a bad penalty. Aspie's one hit the post. You can't blame him on that one. Usually 9 out of 10 times that ball goes in. Yes, it just happened to hit the post. Yeah, and look, but at the end of the day, Liverpool. The other situation I was also trying to say, there's no comparisons between the two teams. We've played this team 4 times this season, and they've only beaten us on a penalty shootout. Yeah, and when people go around saying they're better than us, I like to see where they are. They may have the best attacking players than we do, but what have they actually done with that? They've not actually beaten us in a proper game, right? And when I get all these people saying, "Oh, Liverpool this year, Liverpool might be second in the league. They could be getting the quadruple this year, maybe, right?" But if you're going to go between Chelsea and Liverpool, just Chelsea versus Liverpool, there's no comparisons for me, because either Tuchel always seems to outwit Klopp, and he still can't get a victory over him. So that's the only thing I'll say on that. But yesterday's match, I'm obviously gutted. I was at the match yesterday, gutted that we lost. Okay, but look, Wembley Stadium has always been lucky over the years for us. We have won there. It's been like a home ground for us. But the last couple of seasons in that ground, it's been bad for us. And I'm not saying making any excuses yesterday, but just maybe a lot of things came into fruition yesterday, that there are some players in that team that need to go, and we need to replace, and there are some players that just need to stay, but maybe stay on the bench next season, because obviously we're going to need a squad, especially if we're going to get into the Champions League, because I still think we're going to finish 3rd this season. I don't think we're not going to be caught up on 3rd spot. And we just need to trust in Tuchel. It's as simple as that. We need to give this guy a 5-year contract, as far as I'm concerned, change his coach from head coach to manager, and let him just run the team as he wants and get the players that he wants to bring in. And I can tell you right now, this manager will win us things. It's 100%. He's already won us the Champions League. We've already won the Super Cup, and we won the World Club tournament as well. So, next season he gets his own players in, and I say let him build on it, because that's what we need to do. And I think Todd Bowley will be doing that next season, because from what I understand, he's had his discussions with both Emma Hayes for the ladies team, and he's also had his discussions with Thomas Tuchel. And I do believe they're going to be playing a huge part going forward in the next couple of seasons for Chelsea, or how long that will be with them at the helm.
So do you think it's how do I phrase it now? Do you think an overhaul is what we need to overcome that problem? Because it's looking more that is if you think it's a mentality thing, which means an overhaul is what is needed.
No, I don't think his overhaul is full on. Just some of the plays that we know in that team are not good enough. I mean, you know, let's be honest. Let's start with the squad in itself. You've got Bakayoko, okay, who's got to come back. I think he should be sold. Bubba Rahman should be sold. If you look at the first team plays, Ross Barkley for me needs to go. Alonso, as much as he was great yesterday, he wants to go back to Spain. Let him go. There's still ups and down talks of Azpilicueta, whether he's going to stay Aspi. I've got a feeling he's going to go to Barcelona in the end. I think he'll go. There will be some plays that we'll need to replace. And, you know, I'm worried from what I'm understanding and from what I know, we've already got one player coming in. And I know some Chelsea fans don't like it. And that is Perisic should be coming in on a free transfer. Maybe that might not be much at this moment in time, but we've got to look at the situation where the transfer window doesn't close until whatever time. So we've got a lot of time to bring these players in the positions that we need. What we're probably doing now with the Perisic signings, we're adding depth to our squad, experience to our squad. We did that with Thiago Silva last season. Yeah, we're probably going to do that with Perisic this season if he was to come in. So anyone I know there's some people out there that don't like Perisic's signing. I actually think it's actually a good signing if we do get him on a free. Okay, and I really personally think we've got a really, really good chance for next season to compete. We're not far away from Liverpool and Manchester City, as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, we're a couple of plays away from them because we're third in the Premiership. Our games against both those teams this season have only been like by the odd goal. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. So we're not that far away from any of them. So, you know, I've just got to think we've got the manager, we've got the tools. We go on next season and we can do it as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think I get your point. I think not necessarily an overhaul, but we need reinforcements in some areas because the fact is, even under Thomas Tuchel, we used to boast about our defensive solidity, but now it looks like that's not the case anymore. But I'll come back to you with a question regarding the Arsenal, the first FA Cup, because we'll look at them one by one. I want to go to Bobby. Bobby, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. How have you been, brother?
Hi guys. Hi.
Big up, Bobby.
I'm trying to get myself together.
Yeah.
I have so much in my mind about yesterday.
Big up, Bobby.
Hi Nick, how are you? Hi DJ. Sorry guys.
That's all right, bro. No problem.
And Coach, glad you're back after your sort of very sad trip. I hope that went well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went well.
I don't know who's the other person. Is that Phantom?
Yes.
Yeah, that's Phantom.
Phantom!
Yay!
Yeah, well, it's good to have you here. Although you're
Thank you.
Just to let you know, Bobby, my Fulham shirt arrives on June 8th from Amazon.
Yeah, there he goes again.
Gosh, Fulham. Oh man. I mean, anyway, let me not say anything. I've got enough on my mind right now. Look, I've been watching football a long time. I've been with Chelsea a long time, and I've seen so much of the mediocrity in the past, the heartaches, and we've now got to this platform where we're in at the big boy level. I think what happened yesterday, for whatever reason, we know the media's against us. We know the officials are usually against us. We know they stole the FA Cups from us. They stole the League Cup from us. We know this. But whatever reason, what happened yesterday was totally unacceptable. This is where we are. This is a humiliation that will take us a long time to live down. It's not going to be easy to live this down because the penalty shootout, all these people coming out and deceiving themselves with loser mentality. Oh, it's a lottery. Oh, anybody can win. Nonsense. The penalty shootout is the last stop hotel. It is the ultimate after a deadlock where two teams come and your physical and mental strength comes to bear. Every player has to stand up, that is to take a penalty and be counted. And if you miss it in a foolish way, you're weak. Period. Let's not mess around. All these people that pass the ball to the goalkeeper like Mount did yesterday, Mason Mount has lost 6 Wembley finals. He should have been breathing fire through his nostrils. If you notice,
On that note, Bobby, on that note, we've lost three FA, that is 3 consecutive FA Cup finals in a row.
embarrassing.
Would you say it's become a jinx? Would you say it's a mentality thing? But
Coach,
whichever way you see it, it has become a problem. And the truth is, when history repeats itself in that manner,
Coach,
it's usually difficult to navigate.
I don't do this, brother. I don't do this. Oh, it's a jinx. Oh, it's whatever. I don't do this. You go out there and you make your victories. All we have got this season is that Liverpool Football Club, as a club, are mentally and physically stronger than us. They proved it twice. We went out there and fluffed our lines. If you notice, I'm not so angry with Aspie. Why? I'm upset that he missed his penalty, but he beat the goalkeeper and he hit the post. Even if Mount had even ballooned it, I would have seen some venom in that strike. But he passed it to the goalkeeper. Shame on you. I want him to feel this. I really do. And as for the team, this team does need a revamp. Lots of people are going anyway. Some people we need to put question marks on it. Now, I'm not a Mason Mount out. Of course not. He's a Chelsea boy. I know his heart is with Chelsea. He will die for Chelsea. That's why I want him to hurt. And look how stupid he's been. And come back and show us his heart, his fire. Because this is what football is. Strength, not weakness. Strength. You've got to be tough. Look at Liverpool. They were down, they were knackered, but they were tough. Tough. And we were wimps. A bunch of wimps out there for the second time. It's not good enough. Players are going. Okay, let them go. But the replacements, we've got to be tough on and off the field. Liverpool are tough on and off the field. Those days of Chelsea were tough off the field. The days of Peter Kenyon, the days of Ron Gorley, we'll go and do deals. Bang, we've got our players. We need that back. That's why I don't want this old board. I don't want this. All this weak mentality. Oh, we're haggling for prices. Oh, we'll play like we're doing. Get in there, do your deal, done, gone. Look at how Man City have got Haaland. Said they didn't want him last season, didn't want those shenanigans. We'll wait for this season. Bang, got him, gone. Now they're after the next player. And what have Chelsea got? Ivan Perisic. I mean, okay, he's got a history of being good and all that, but it's a gamble. He's 33 years old. He's going to be 34. And it's not like Thiago Silva that plays at the back and doesn't need to expend so much energy. We're expecting this old man to be a substitute wing back to people like Chilwell. I don't think Aspie's 33 yet, and he's going. I mean, what are we doing? We've started this nonsense again. I don't know. You know, I'm waiting to see what this Bowley lot do. We've got to be tough. We've got to go for our targets. People like Jules Koundé, he's got to come in. Get your CDM, Chumeni or Rice. Do the effing deal. Don't mess about, because one of our weaknesses is the midfield. Those guys, yeah, I understand that Kovacic had an injury, but even if he didn't have an injury, they can't shoot. They'll get to the opposition box and they'll look to pass it. Why? Because they can't shoot. Lukaku, oh my God. Don't even get me started. He had an opportunity. You see, this is where you see the class and the average. Give that opportunity to Drogba and the net would be shaking. What does Lukaku do? I'm sick of seeing him pointing around. Oh, you know, give me the ball this way, putting his eyes up in the air, holding his head. Pulisic, another one, constantly missing chances. We've got to be ruthless. This transfer market, I expect some ruthless decisions. Not everywhere, but I think there will be some surprises here and there. Some people, you might find they'll kick them out and get people in. Dybala, he's out there, get him in. Who in Chelsea doesn't like it? That's the door. You're on the bench. What's his name? The left winger. Ziyech. You sit on that bench until the club is ready to use you. Look at the people Liverpool were bringing off the bench. My God, Jota, Firmino, and Chelsea have Ziyech and some players on the bench, and the fan base is complaining, oh, they don't get enough game time. And then they start fueling all the he's going here, he's going there, he's going everywhere, he's going to the moon. Nonsense. You don't hear Liverpool fans talking about Jota on the bench or Origi, or who's been there on the bench for season in, season out, and comes in. They have strength in depth. And this is our opportunity to pin down our manager, get the proper players in that he needs, and build strength in depth. And if we see players on the bench, we keep our mouth SHUT, because it's about Chelsea, not about Ziyech FC, not about Pulisic FC. And his dad should stay off of Twitter. We don't give a monkey's what he thinks. If he wants to take him and go away, there's the door. We can get in Dybala. We can start to be ruthless. I want my Chelsea back. Tough Chelsea. Not this weak, lily-livered wimp stuff that we did on yesterday. I think it's a shame. It's a disgrace.
Yeah, it is really a shame. We will get to that game. I want to ask you about this game on the screen, because we're taking them one by one. I understand your frustration. I'm still heartbroken. I've spoken to a few friends of mine in the Chelsea community. One of them is Helgi, who told me he's mentally down. I've spoken to Lionel Joe. I wanted him here. He said he wouldn't be talking about Chelsea for almost a month or a few weeks. I have the other person who says he will stop talking about football for a while, because we dreaded this. We didn't want this to happen. For it the talks to be that Chelsea lost 3 FA Cup finals in a row. That's unheard of. But that's, by the way, Bobby, this game on the screen.
Liverpool, and the whole world is watching us play like a bunch of lily-livered wimps. I don't like in the Bernabeu we were beaten, but look at that performance. I would rather we go down in flames fighting than that sort of nonsense in a penalty shootout. You pass the ball to the goalkeeper.
Looking at this game on the screen, I'm not sure if you're still well acquainted with how things went down on that day. The game that Pulisic got injured, Kovacic got a red card for Xhaka fouling him. But we must remember Kovacic's second yellow came in the 73rd minute. Arsenal scored 2 goals in the 28th and 67th minute, and we scored first in the 5th minute. So your thoughts on this game, because we're trying to analyze the games one by one. Would you say what do you think? Why do you think we lost this game?
We lost it for 2 reasons. One, the officials saw an opportunity to put Chelsea at a disadvantage. And the other reason was Chelsea's age-old lily-livered excuse, our players are injured. Only Chelsea Football Club at the top rate level get injured players. Nobody else. Look at Lewandowski, Benzema. All these players, they're always fit in major finals. Chelsea get to major finals and, this person's injured. This person has an hamstring. What are we? A bunch of wimps? So we get too many injuries. Far too many injuries. And of course, the officials definitely played their part. They didn't want us to win that game. And we played right into their hands, as usual.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not solemnly down to the officials. We didn't play. We've done enough to win that game. I still believe that no matter what the officials do, you still win the game. DJ, your thoughts? The same question I just asked Bobby regarding this game on the screen.
Well, the Arsenal match. Look. I think that game, as I said, again, as I said earlier on, Coach, I think it was a game of missed chances. Again, the players had the chances to win that game. I do believe in the first 15 minutes of that match, we could have had an opportunity to get 2 or 3 goals in that game, and we didn't do it. And in the end, Arsenal got us on that one sucker punch pass over the time. They got the goal from that. But yeah, I also said that the fact that the official, I think it was the referee, is it Atkinson? Is it? He sent off Kovacic as well, which I thought was never a sending off. And that kind of like helped Arsenal to some degree as well. But look, you can't use that as an excuse. Before the match, as I said, we should have won that game because of the chances that we had. But again, our missed opportunities cost us, and that has been our situation for the last couple of finals we've been in. We took our chance in the Champions League final, and we won that. People go on and saying we were lucky to win that. I'm sorry, I disagree with that. We were not lucky to win that Champions League final. I thought we did very well in that final, and we got the winning goal in that. And the way that, if you saw the way the goal had gone in, and the link-up play from it all was excellent. But the last couple of finals are domestic-wise. No, we've just been unlucky. And but look, poor finishing has cost us, and ref decisions have cost us as well. And as Bobby's alluded to, the officials don't like us when situations are down, and that's how it is. But as I said, it's not all on them. It's also poor finishing, as I said already. So,
yeah, thank you very much for that. While I'm with you, DJ, I'll get to Bobby and everybody on the panel on this one. This comment here from True Blue on the screen says, we have players to destroy teams if we used them correctly. Even Ruben Loftus-Cheek is an attacking midfielder. Kennedy returned at Tuchel's request. Explain, so why are we not winning games with these players? Because his argument here is that we're good enough. We have a good enough players to do so. DJ, your thoughts, do you think we have good enough players to be destroying teams like he phrased it here?
Yeah, listen, I think we can agree on this panel here that we do have the players. I think what's annoyed me with Chelsea in the last 5 or 6 years, correct me if I'm wrong on here, and the panel can maybe agree with me. Why is it none of our players, maybe apart from Mason Mount, why do none of our players shoot anymore? We want to walk the ball in the back of the net every time. We want to be like Barcelona. We want to dodge, do the last final play and put the ball in the back of the net. We got players who can shoot. Mason Mount, good shot on him. Kai Havertz used to do it for Bayer Leverkusen. Good shot on him again. He can score from distance. We got players that can score goals from distance. We just don't do it anymore. Even I think Thomas Tuchel was asked this question in one of his press conferences some time back. Why? He goes, I don't understand why players don't shoot. I've told them to shoot. They don't want to shoot. They want to play this glorious football of walking the ball. And then sometimes it can work for you, depending on the opposition you play against. But when you're trying to grind out a result and you want to try and win a game, you've got to have opportunities and shoot, mate. Because sometimes, unless you don't test the goalkeeper, you're never... Okay, Ziyech may shoot, True Blue. Okay, but again, as I said, there's only a few of our players that are doing it at the moment, True Blue. So big up to your comments on that. And thank you for that. Yeah, but as I said, there are a few players in our team that are shooting, but shoot from distance, because unless you're testing out the goalkeeper, you're never going to know what the goalkeeper is going to be like. Yeah. So look, at the end of the day, we have got the players because they do have shots on them. You look at the training pictures. Anybody goes on the Chelsea webpage and they've seen them training, you see them shooting and how they're shooting from. You're thinking, okay, why do you not do that in the match? Don't try and walk the ball in the back of the net every time because it's not always going to work.
So can I come in? Sorry, DJ.
Yeah, go.
You're right. You're right. What you're saying. If you remember, in the past, we always had players who were shooting outside the box, 40 yards, 45 yards out, and we were scoring. This is, I don't know what it is with these players. It's like Bobby said, they haven't reached a mentality problem here. We have players who can shoot, but they don't, because they got used to playing this sideways, backways football, keep possession, nothing else. They think they're going to win the game by keeping possession. Yep. I agree. We need this to come back. I'm sure Tuchel will get the right players next year, like you said. Bowley's going to back him, he promised, and I believe him. And, this has to stop. We have to change the way we play. This possession football doesn't work. And the other thing is, I just want to say a big up to Ramsey, coach. His first time on your channel, a good friend of mine. Ramsey,
welcome, Ramsey.
To the best channel in YouTube, best Chelsea content. It's like a family channel. I keep saying it. You know that, coach, but it's true. So we have to change everything, man. The way we play is no good. But I'm sure next year it's going to be a different Chelsea. Yeah.
Bobby, do you agree with this comment on the screen that we have a good enough player to be destroying teams if they're used correctly, which insinuates that players are being used in an incorrect way?
I don't agree. You know, the reason we've had to use players in outside of a lot of their natural positions is because of a lack of strength in depth, especially in midfield and with the wing back situation. I mean, we've had to use Ruben as a wing back. We've had to use him in the double pivot, and yesterday he was even used in attack because the attack is so blunt. It's the players, you know, we don't have that strength in depth. We don't have that deep set quality. You know, you look at Liverpool, they brought off Luis Diaz, the guy that was really amazing on the field. And who do they bring on? They bring on Firmino. You know, that is strength in depth. You know, we don't have that. So we end up having to put square pegs in round holes to make up for the gap. Our planning at the beginning of the season was horrendous, getting rid of Zuma, not bringing in Kundi. So in the centre-back positions, we're struggling. We've got a 38-year-old that we play game in, game out because there's nobody else. You know, it's just been a comedy of errors. And no, we don't have the players. That's why this summer's recruitment is going to be vital.
Yeah, I think you make a good argument there. Phantom, you've been nodding your head to agree, to disagree or agree. What's your thoughts on this comment on the screen?
I want to revamp the team, and I want to say that a lot of these players' talents have maxed out. Where, you know, like Werner, I think Werner's talent, I think he's really good for the Bundesliga, but for whatever reason, he just doesn't fit here. And that other, the one from the Bundesliga, the one that sounds like Pulisic, I'm not sure that, you know, he's 20 goals. Yeah, but it's from the Bundesliga. I mean, Werner had more than 20 goals in the Bundesliga. So I'm going to be very skeptical about that guy coming back coming into the EPL. And is it time for Werner to go? That's my question.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet. That's another topic for another day when we talk transfers. Fahim, your thoughts on this comment?
It's 50-50 for me. We have the attackers to score goals, definitely, but I said this earlier in the stream. We need to create a lot more chances for these attackers. They're quick transitional attackers. They're not attackers like, you know, so you have to play in a counter-attack system for them to thrive. But if you do that, you then concede goals. So you heard Tuchel say, we want to build a team that nobody wants to play against. That starts from the back. That starts from defense. You need to make your defense so strong. Now, that obviously limits the amount of chances that we have. But I think Tuchel wants to build his team like a possession sort of team rather than a quick transitional team. So we don't really have those sort of players that will play possession football in the attack, I would say. Timo Werner and Lukaku, they do not suit a possession style team. They suit in a counter-attacking, fast transitional team. Low chances, right? Kai Havertz he can fit in a possession team. That's why you see him more often in the false nine because he can drop deep and then link up with players. Lukaku, he can do that, but it's not as great as, let's say, Havertz or, I don't know, like, he's not that sort of player. Lukaku's a player that wants to run in behind. Same with Werner. And Ziyech, maybe I think he can work, but I don't know. I think Tuchel doesn't really rate Ziyech as highly. We just have different profiles of players, and the Tuchel has to adapt to their style rather than the players adapting to his style. If you get what I mean, you have Jorginho that wants to play possession football, but then you have Werner that wants to play counter-attacking football. It doesn't gel together. If you get what I mean, so I think it's 50-50 with this comment. Whereas Ruben Loftus-Cheek attacking mid, I mean, he's got a lot of competition. He's got a lot of competition to play attacking mid. You have Ziyech, you have Pulisic who plays there as well, Mount. So for me, if Ruben wants to stay in his team, he should actually adjust his position to play as a 6 now, because that's the only position I see him in this team. And with Kennedy, look, we tried to recall Emerson for 3 weeks in January. That was embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Why are we recalling our own player? And we failed as well. We failed to recall our own player for 3 weeks. And then we had to bring back Kennedy because we couldn't get cover for Chilwell or Alonso. So I don't know why he doesn't get a chance. Maybe he's just not good enough. So yeah, that's my say.
Yeah, I think I get your point. Nick, I'm going to start with you immediately. The second FA Cup that was a loss to Leicester City. Do you still recall how things went down in that game?
Yeah, I could never forget. Yeah,
So
we were.
what would you say was the reason why we lost that one? Because to my if my memory serves me right, our players looked lethargic. They were passive. They didn't even play like they want to win it.
Yes.
But go ahead. I'll let you speak.
Yeah, exactly. That game, I remember. We wasn't on it from the first minute. I don't know. They didn't turn up the players. Even Tuchel said it at the end. We were terrible. The players wasn't up for it. In a final, how can you not be up for it? It's a final, FA Cup final. Well, we waited 50 years to win for the first time in our history. Back then, it was different. The players were, playing for that shirt and playing for the fans. And the fans, were playing for the players. Now it's all different. We don't have fans. DJ, I know you're a good fan. You're there, I know. But you know yourself, a lot of our fans are so quiet now. It's changed too much now for me. I've been to so many games this season, and Crystal Palace in the semi-final. Even that semi-final, and they outsang us. What is that about? And we had twice as many fans as them. I don't understand these so-called fans of us. That's another major issue. It's not just the players. Liverpool, they have their fans. They haven't changed since our bodies. Since we have changed, we have. I don't know. We have lost it. We have lost the passion we had before.
Yeah.
And again, the Leicester game, we were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't even look up for it. We were really bad. Then no wonder Leicester won. We just let Leicester win. And even Tuchel said it afterwards. The players wasn't there. Mentality wasn't there. You can't talk too much about that game, really, because we wasn't there. But I have a big issue with the fan base right now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll come to you, Bobby, straight up. Bobby, I know you met. I know probably it's still fresh in your memory. It's not long ago. It's just your thoughts on this particular game. What do you think went wrong? Why did because the performance that they was so poor? Was it a case of underrating Leicester City, or what do you think what do you think happened?
Well, that day the performance was poor. Yet again, we had a goal that I saw nothing wrong with ruled out, which would have probably changed the whole dynamics of the game. And there were some poor selections. It wasn't a game, in my opinion, that Kepa should have been in goal. And, I'm with Nick on this. I have a bit of an issue with our fan base. Because you see, here we go again. I don't know, someone was saying, he thinks Tuchel has an issue with Ziyech. Why? Because he's on the bench sometimes? He's meant to be on the bench sometimes. He can't play every game. He doesn't fit into the tactics. And this nonsense about, the manager should play to the players' tactics and them not to his. Nonsense. They're there, they're being paid, they're professionals. He sets the tactics. He tells them what to do, not the other way round. If they have strengths in certain areas, then perhaps they shouldn't even be there. But if they have strengths in certain areas and he can use it, fine. If they don't, the key to modern football is adaptability. I don't buy all this, Lukaku, he needs to run behind defenses to score. Okay, many a time he's put through behind defenses. Does he score? No. We've got a problem with some players. It's as simple as that. And there's got to be some tough decisions. Some players are going to have to go and good ones are going to have to come in. There's some good players out there clicking their heels. I've mentioned one in Dybala. There's a couple of good defenders out there. We need to bring them in and then get rid of the some of these players that aren't scoring, or fill the gaps with the defenders that are leaving. Certainly in the midfield, I can see one that has to go, because we've got to get in either Rice, Tchouameni, or is it Sangare? Someone like, we need a tough, strong CDM who can
Physical.
shoot, by the way, because I don't see a shot in Jorginho. He's too weak. He can't take a long ranger. Kovacic is too accurate. Mount, long range shot, bit weak, bit too weak. The person that surprises me is Ruben. He does it every now and then. I mean, that was one of his strengths. But all our midfielders, and of course Kante, he's a bit of a workhorse, but shooting, it's not his thing. So we need people that can come in and that can breathe fire down their nostrils, take some shots from outside the 18, terrorize the opposition, just like in reference to that cup final, Tielemans did against us.
Looks like, can you guys still hear me? It looks like we lost Bobby. Can everyone else still hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I think Bobby just stopped. Bobby is still there, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, it looks like we.
Yeah, I just stopped.
All right, go ahead.
I said what I need to.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh, okay. I thought maybe because at the time we lost you, but I get your point, and I have to agree with you. Even from the reign of Sarri to the reign of Frank Lampard, and also to Thomas Tuchel, I think the goals contribution from our midfield has been very awful. We haven't had goal scoring midfielders for a while. I think that needs to change. Goals need to come from every department of the team, and that's how you win trophies. But we've been quite lucky, if the truth must be spoken, given the way the players are used, the players we have and the way they're used. But that's, by the way, DJ, coming to you, your thoughts. What do you think went wrong on that day for this game? Because we were all shocked by the way the players performed on that day.
Yeah, listen, everything Bobby's echoed out is 100% true. It was a shocking game. I know we had the odd chances here and there, but we did have a goal that should have rightfully stood. Should have not been, for some reason. Why they said no to it, I do not know. But look, it's again, it goes back to the old thing of players and shooting and having the players in the team that can do that if they really want to do that. Okay, basically, the situation on that is the plays that we do have. As I said, they can shoot if they want to, and score the goals if they want to. But for some reason or another, as I keep saying, they just don't do it. And I don't believe in this. I mean, for me, I think Mason Mount does have a shot on him. I mean, we've seen him do it. I think anyone used to watch him play for, I know people say it's the Championship, but he used to do it for Derby. He did it for his Lomas. He used to score goals from distance. And people used to compare him to Frank Lampard-esque. Here's our next Lampard coming into the team. He's going to score as the goals like Lampard used to do for midfield. For some reason or another, he did it for a little while and then he stopped doing that. And he does have a good shot on him. I mean, he saw that brilliant goal against Liverpool last season when we beat him 1-0 at Anfield. And what a goal that was. So he does have a shot. He can score from outside the box if he wants to, but it's just they don't do it. Whereas back in the days, you had Essien, you had Ballack, you had Lampard. They would all shoot from outside the box and score goals 9 out of 10 times and get us goals. Oscar, another one. I remember Oscar. He used to do it as well for us. Mata, but for some reason or another, our players have decided just not to do this. And it went to the same situation against Leicester in that final.
And they're not even creating enough chances.
That's the other thing. You think, okay, if you're not going to shoot, at least create. And as you just said, they're not creating either. They're either passing sideways, backwards, as we always said already, or for some reason or another, they just give the stupid passes, the odd pass, the stupid mistake passes they give for our players to go and score the goals. But look, it's got 100% next season. This has all got to be addressed. And I really, really hope next season going forward, I really hope we can start going back to how we used to do things. And that is to start scoring goals from outside the box, as well as playing our brilliant build-up play towards it. Because I really, really think we can do that next season. I'm confident in this team, in the players that we have. But yes, like Bobby said, and we've all said here, some have to leave next season. And it's going to be some hard decisions, but some will leave us next season. Whoever they'll be, I think we've already given some names here. There's going to be others, but decisions have to be made 100%. And whatever quality comes in has to be as good. And like Bobby said, Dybala, I mean, I think he's a free transfer, I do believe as well. Get him in if we can get him in.
I didn't know that Bala was a free. We'll be living on a free. I think if that's the case, I think we should be looking at him. But I get you make a very great point. The goals contribution from our midfield has been very awful, and I don't know why that has been the case for a while now, and that needs to change. Fahim, your thoughts? What did you learn from this game? Why did you think we lost that game?
Honestly, I can't really remember about this game. Obviously, Tielemans had his long shot. You can say whether Mendy could have saved it, this and that, but honestly, it was a very good shot from Tielemans, almost top bins. But before he scored that goal, there was a foul in the build. I think Ayoze Perez I think he handballed it. I can't remember. I think that's what happened. I didn't even check the build up properly, and then we weren't really creating as many chances in this game. If I can remember, like we didn't really look threatening against Leicester. Neither did Leicester. Leicester didn't even look threatening to us, to be honest. They had that one chance from Tielemans and that went in. Obviously, yes, Chilwell had his goal offside. That was very gutting, to be honest. I thought he scored that goal, that equalizer in the 90-something minute. But in overall performance, we weren't that good. We weren't that good against Leicester. No chances were created. The one thing I was confused about, why was Ziyech playing on the left when he's better deployed as on the right wing or right attacking mid? That was a question I can understand why Tuchel decided to do that. But overall performance, we weren't that good against Leicester.
Yeah, I think it was such a poor performance because we didn't even create. I'd say we didn't even create enough chances actually. It was again. I hate to talk about it, but again, we have to. Let's just come to the current game. This game versus Liverpool, and I start with you, Nick. Your thought and overall, what happened? What do you think went wrong for us yesterday? Because again, this is not an argument about how many chances were created, and I would not. To me, I don't think it makes sense to entertain the argument that had we scored the chances we had during the 90th minute, that we could have won the game, or maybe the outcome would have been different if you want to phrase it that way. But the truth is, Liverpool, they were on the front foot from the first minute to around the 16th to 17th minute, and they could have scored first. So it's not a matter of us missing a chance. I think we didn't create enough, because if we're saying had we scored our goals that we would have won, they created at least twice as much as the goals we created. Your thoughts on that game overall, Nick?
Yeah. Overall, you're right what you said. Liverpool came out really fired up for it. I thought we were supposed to do that, what they did, but no. We couldn't get the ball from them. We couldn't win the 50-50s. We were nowhere. For 20 minutes, it was all Liverpool. And I really thought they were going to score. I was surprised it was 0-0. But then after 20 minutes, we got back into the game a little bit. Not completely yet. We start getting back in the game, making chances. But there's no excuses. We should have scored or we shouldn't. We were playing better, much better. And we kept it 0-0 till half time. And that's what Tuchel wanted, I think. I thought, after all that Liverpool pressure, Tuchel would be happy to go in 0-0. And whatever he told them players in the dressing room, he showed. they come out a different team. We were on top. You know, if you remember, we started the first half like they started the first. Sorry, we started the second half like they started the first half. It was us. We were on top, but we just couldn't score. You know, from midfield, attackers, everything. We couldn't score. So, yeah, then Liverpool came back. It was 50-50 for me, second half. The whole 90 minutes was 50-50. We were, you know, we wasn't the better team completely, but we were there. Some stages we were better, some stages Liverpool were. But then in extra time, we were actually better than them in extra time, if you remember correctly. We outplayed them in the extra time. But we couldn't
end
score.
result, end result, yeah. Nick, end result. We're just better. What did we do?
What we didn't do is not what we did. What we didn't do is put the ball in the net. That's our problem. Since Lampard, that's our main problem. Doesn't matter if Lukaku or without Lukaku, is Havertz or Werner. No one can put the ball in the net, you know, as much as we should. That's the main issue. That's why I want to see Lewandowski come back, go and get Lewandowski. I heard rumors, I hope they're correct, that he's going to be on a free transfer. So let's, you know, that's what I want. Bring someone who knows how to put the ball in the net and teach these young players like Havertz, Mount, Pulisic, you know, what to do. It'd be a great addition. I know he's 33 now, but he's still got it. He's a world-class player. I want to see it. I don't want to see another youngster come in like Havertz or Pulisic or anyone like that. We have that already. We need someone who knows to put the ball in the net. We need a goal scorer. It's simple. There's nothing big about it. And to sort out the defense when Rudiger goes and Christensen and Nasby. We need to get the right players. And they're going to back Tuchel. I'll trust Tuchel, whatever he does. I still think he's going to come out on top at the end of next season. We might not win the league straight away. It's going to be closer if he gets the place he wants. He's the best.
And here's the thing: any of you can come in anytime, just like Nick does. If you have anything you want to say to what he's saying, you can come in anytime. But go ahead, Nick, if you're not done.
Yeah, that's the main reason we didn't win yesterday. Penalties, all right, DJ, you're correct. It's a lottery. It's always a lottery, but we should have learned from the League Cup final. We should have learned from it. That's what I want to say. That's what got me. I was really, I don't know how to say how I felt, because it just felt really, really bad. That's the worst FA Cup final to take for me as a Chelsea fan.
Me too.
We've lost we lost in the past, but we always played. We gave everything in the past. We didn't give everything. We should give everything for these finals, like we did against Reed in the Bernabeu.
I think what hurts me so much about this, apart from the humiliation, is the fact that, you see, these opportunities, you have to take them because they don't come round often. We are wasting a lot of opportunities. Next season, let me tell you, there's no guarantee we're going to even get anywhere. Man City have already started their strengthening. The addition of Erling Haaland is going to make them scary. Liverpool, well, they're strong enough as it is, but I'm sure they will strengthen a bit. And so will Arsenal, so will Tottenham, and so will Newcastle. It's not going to get any easier. The European teams, Real Madrid, will have both Mbappe and Benzema. Why we didn't try and get Mbappe, today is a mystery to me. But you're right. We should make a move for someone like Lewandowski. And if anybody, they're not going to say it to me anyway, starts talking about, what about Lukaku on the bench? Yeah, you sit on the bench, mate. You're paid 325 grand a week. You sit on that damn bench. And when we're ready to use you, we will use you. And if you want to leave, there's the door.
But Bobby isn't happy at all.
I agree 100% with Bobby on that. 100%. I'm not going to argue with you on that.
Go ahead, Bobby.
One second, let me ask Bobby something. Yeah, another thing is, you're right. You know, we need a ghost. We need Lewandowski in this team. We can't get Benzema. It's impossible. Why not go for the next best player in the world? For me, that's Lewandowski, not Ronaldo. Ronaldo, 27, and he scored 25 goals, if not more.
Remember what Roy Keane said, that if Ronaldo was playing for Chelsea, he'd be on 50 now, 50 goals.
Yeah,
because we make these chances. You know, I'm sad because I still believe in my heart of hearts, especially from all the noises I hear from him, that Mbappe would have come to Chelsea if we'd been brave enough to make the move. You know, I don't see what Real Madrid are going to pay. A lot of the time, it's always rumors, and it ends up being a bunch of lies. People talking about, oh, Haaland wanted 500k a week, and nonsense. He's on 375 at City. Yeah, it's a big wage, but he's a big player. It's not that far off what we're paying Lukaku. So, you know, I am all for going for Lewandowski. He's an old man, yes. I hope he's still got it. Well, we'll see. But we need someone to score, as the lads are saying. That is our problem. And sadly, I think this could be the end for Werner. I like Timo, I really do, but we can't have this for another season. We can't have this. We can't. You know, all these chances in front.
You're saying this in front. You're saying this in front of his lawyer here.
It's very sad. It's very sad. But...
I'm crying right now because of Werner and Mount, Havertz, and all of them. Man, what's wrong with them? God.
Listen,
I'm going mad.
Look, just a couple of things. Lewandowski, I would love Lewandowski at Chelsea. I think I wanted this guy 2-3 seasons ago when there was obviously talk of maybe him leaving Bayern Munich, and we could have maybe one of the clubs to go and get him. But from what I understand, what I'm hearing is he's basically his heart is set on Barcelona. That's where he wants to go. If he does leave Bayern Munich, he doesn't want to go anywhere else because PSG apparently want him. He doesn't want PSG. I think Manchester United have been mentioned as another club that are trying to get him. He doesn't want to go there, but his heart is apparently set in Barcelona. That's where he wants to go. But if we can somehow or another persuade him to come to Chelsea, and if Barcelona end up getting the targets they want to get, I mean, I know he's one of their targets, but I don't understand how many strikers they're going to have next season, because there's talk of obviously Aubameyang is there. There's talk of Morata possibly going there as well. Bringing Lewandowski in there, I don't understand how they're going to fit all these players into their team. So for me, Lewandowski would suit Chelsea to the bone. I think he comes into that. He comes to us. Not only, go on, Nick.
Okay. Yeah, I was talking about Lewandowski not long ago, and people were laughing at me.
No, I wasn't. I agree with you. I agree. He's a top.
You know,
player,
you probably know. Bobby knows he was there, and they were laughing at me because I wanted Lewandowski. Yeah.
We got to make a move, DJ. Guys.
No, you agree.
He will come to us. We've just got to make that move. I think he will come. You know,
you don't win a lottery if you don't buy tickets.
Exactly. You know, Lewandowski, Dybala, move in for these guys. Sadly, as we keep saying, some people will go. Lewandowski comes in. I can see that triggering the end of Werner. But will it, though? Because there was a time we had 4 strikers at Chelsea and we didn't complain. Yeah. You know, but I can see that happening. Then if Dybala comes in, it could be risky for the likes of Pulisic. You know, I don't know, but I just think we have to do it. You know, if he's better, if you're better, come to Chelsea. If you're better than what we've got, come. If what we've got has a problem with it, bye-bye. Yeah. Sorry.
And why? Yeah, and Bobby, why would you want to go to Barcelona? We're a bigger club. We're a better club. I'm sure Bowley and Tuchel.
Yeah, we have a better project at this point.
Yes,
if you want to see it like that.
Yeah, Dembele, another one. Bring him. Yeah. Bring him.
Yeah. Oh, Dembele.
Let's bringing it back to the topic, Bobby. Tell us why you think we lost this game against Liverpool.
We lost you know, right? The truth of the matter is Chelsea isn't far off from these top teams, Liverpool and Man City. We're not. Even with all the problems we have, that's why it hurts. Because none of them would have survived what we've survived. We are an incredible team. And we showed that at the Bernabeu. Real Madrid will not want to play Chelsea again easily if they can avoid it. You know what I mean? We give that sort of fear to teams. When Bayern Munich met us when we were weak under Lampard and that, they were rubbing their hands because they've never forgotten their humiliation at the Allianz. So we are a top team. But why we lost it is because of mental strength. We don't have those players that after you go toe-to-toe, it's like boxers, you know, those heavyweight boxers, they go toe-to-toe for 15 rounds. And it's always that one boxer that has that last bit left that can swing his arms and take out the other one. You know, we saw that with, I don't know if any of you watch boxing, Tyson Fury and the American chap. You know, Fury, he knocked him down. Fury got up and, you know, just that last bit of whatever that they get out of them. What hurts is that Liverpool twice. Do you know what it means to get to allow them to take a trophy from you? I don't know about anyone else. That sickens me. That sickens me to the gut because Liverpool is not a team we lose to. It's like losing to Arsenal. These are things you don't get over easily. You know, twice at 2 major finals being televised around the world. This was our chance to put it right, and we fluffed it. So I can't think we can't keep making these excuses. Oh, the officials. Yeah, we know that. We know we've got to be better. And we were better.
And more importantly, a chance to make it a seal on the Roman Abramovich farewell story.
All these things, you know, we lost because we are weak mentally. That's what happens in penalty shootouts. That's why I love them so much. And I'll never swap it for anybody. It's losers that want to swap it because they know they're not strong enough to do it. After you've gone toe-to-toe with another team for 120 minutes, it comes down to what have you really got left? And when that player takes up to take that penalty kick, he's tired. He's gone through the game usually for 120 minutes, and it's all about his physical strength and his mental strength to take the penalty. Now, if you take a good penalty and the goalkeeper saves it, then I can say that's bad luck. Or you beat the keeper and you hit the post, okay. Even if you bang it over, which you shouldn't be doing, sky it, which you really shouldn't be doing, I can sort of maybe a little bit live with that. I'll call you an idiot. But I see the desire to lace that ball. But what I cannot accept and what a player cannot accept at this level is when you give some lily-livered pass to the goalkeeper. I mean, hang your head in shame. I'm sure if it was possible for Mason Mount to take that penalty again, the net would break.
There's bulging here.
You know what I mean?
Can I say is that Mason Mount, the run up to that penalty kick, I don't know why he's tiptoeing it. It's almost like CR7 wannabe. Honestly, just do it simple. There's no need to just tiptoe it in a big, decisive penalty and just hit it straight to the keeper.
Yeah.
Like with Azpilicueta, he was unlucky, to be honest. He hit the post. It's unlucky. The keeper, I don't think would have saved it. Just inches away. Mason Mount, it hits it straight at the keeper. It was so easy for him. And that's one thing that annoys me a lot with Mount is that he really wants to be the main guy. But this is the problem we have in our fan base, that we set expectations, such high expectation for a young player like Mason Mount. And when he doesn't perform, he gets heavily criticized. It's not even Mason Mount's fault. It's the fan base fault as well for just hyping up Mason Mount to this standard. And he shouldn't be like this main crucial player. He's not Hazard in our team. He's not that player. But do I want him to be that player in the future? Of course. I do think he will improve. But missing that penalty was just embarrassing. It was actually embarrassing. You shouldn't be doing a penalty like that. in a big.
I think he himself should know he's not a good penalty taker. I've seen it now. Even before now, I knew there was one he took twice, and the second one he was even lucky to score. But I've said I'm not going to criticize any player for their performance yesterday. Overall, I think we didn't do enough to win the game. But I understand your point on the the pressure we put on these young players, but that's not enough to excuse his miss. It was a miss. It was a bad penalty. That being said, I would say I think looks like he's mentally tired again because he wasn't in that game overall until he tried some stuff, but the decision making was really poor for me. I get your point, brother, but yeah, before I come to you, DJ, I want to quickly breeze through the chat because we don't have too much time before we round off the show. We're gonna finish talking about this game, and then we'll then one more question before we round off. Here, just really says I wanted a Lewandowski long back, but he should want to come to Chelsea. That's a good idea. But then again, that's not taking away from what Bobby said. Let's try first. Let's try, and let alone the player says that they don't want. The players say they don't want to come. We have to try. We have to give, shoot our shot, let alone miss it. Here he says, ISIS says, guys, let's not jump into the market and get whoever. Get some players that fit Tuchel's system. I think that must be considered well. Lukaku is a prime example where we've made a mistake thinking he's going to come and solve a problem. He comes in, he creates more problems for us than he's solved for us. And solving his own problems means changing the way we play. And Chama here agrees with Just Viola's comment on Lewandowski. Tribly here says, I've been buying lottery tickets for 20 years, never won once. But at least when you buy, you have a chance. And you keep buying because you know each time you buy, you have a chance. So I get your point, but that's funny. That's a very comic relief there, and I like it. Bobby is right. We're not far from Liverpool and Man City. Again, Choma, that's your argument. You're my sister, and I expect you to be on my side, but I'm just joking anyway. I don't think we're close to Liverpool and Man City. We're close to them. To me, my argument would be it looks like we're close to them given, the tactical ingenuity of our manager. He's so good at making the most of what he has that he has masked the shortcomings of our squad. He has masked the fact that what we have starters and we have backups, and whenever a starter gets injured, we struggled. We must not forget, this is the same manager. We haven't lost a game for a while until recently, and then everything started going down south. Again, I think the manager is what makes it looks like, we're not far off from them in terms of the capability of our manager tactically and otherwise. This is just DJ saying hello to Just Viola and Just Viola responding here. And Chama Joseph says he hurts losing to Liverpool twice in finals. Yes, that broke my heart. And that was why before the pregame show, we talked about it. We were hoping that doesn't happen because we're Chelsea Football Club. I mean, the banter will still be going on for a while, but we will come out stronger. I think that's what we've always done. Bobby is old. 15 rounds went out of boxing decades ago. I'm not sure what he's talking about. I think he's referencing the boxing incident in response to what Bobby said. Haven't we realized that Mount is not? Yeah, I realized that a long time ago. Even I don't trust Aspilicueta. I know Fahim argues otherwise. But in terms of Mount, surely I've seen him take penalties on occasions. He just goes for power, not placement, and not finesse at all. I think he's not a good penalty taker. I think he's still young and may well improve in that. If you see the way Jorginho took his penalty yesterday differently, not the skipping up approach, which shows you that you can learn how to take penalties. You have to practice it. True Blue says, well, I know what they felt like at Cardiff and in 2006. Chama says, Viola, I thought we were going to win when Mendes saved that penalty. I thought as much too. And I actually said after the 17th minute, if Liverpool doesn't score, that we were going to win that game. And we looked like we were going to win it, but we weren't clinical enough. then Mason should practice taking good play. He should, yeah, because he can let that. Yes, Mason will learn from his this definitely. He should learn. Triple says, "Hurry up, ladies, get kicking off soon." Yeah, I think we should hurry up soon. And coming to you, DJ, quickly. And I know, Bobby, you've talked about why you thought we lost this game. So I'm going to go to DJ. DJ, please tell us why you think we lost this game.
Yeah, again, first of all, I just want to say big up to our Chelsea ladies today. I hope they go and beat Manchester City. I'm sure they will. So good luck to them in that game. Just the one thing on the match itself. Listen, the first, as we said, that you guys all watched the match. I mean, I was there. I mean, as I said, in the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I really thought Liverpool were going to score. They started off the game well. You know, they could have scored, but they didn't. Then Chelsea obviously started to grow into the game. Again, as I said, people keep saying about why I kept on going about our chances that we missed. Again, this game was all on chances yesterday, by both teams. Both teams were at fault yesterday for not taking their chances. It wasn't just Chelsea; it was also Liverpool who had the best chances in the match. But I keep saying it. I keep thinking to myself, the chance Pulisic had and the ones that he did had that fallen to, say, someone like Kai Havertz, I believe the ball hits the back of the net 9 out of 10 times, because I reckon he'd be placing
because he doesn't go for power.
No, he would just put it in. He'll put it in. Had that ball fallen to Kai Havertz yesterday if he was on the pitch. You know, so look, it's what it was yesterday. I'm trying to move on from the game now. Yeah, we lost this game yesterday because of missed chances. The penalty kicks came. Obviously, Mason Mount's penalty kick was a bad one. Obviously, Aspie missed his as well. You know, we've got to move on from this now. It's hard, I know. We've been in the last 3 finals now, and we've lost them. I do believe next season will be better. And look, you can't argue at the end of the day. Liverpool won the penalty kicks twice now. People say they got 2 over us. They have in that kind of like way. But next season, I believe we'll bounce back. And just on the other thing about Timo Werner, I'm not taking that for my client, as you like to say, Coachila. I don't know if anybody knew yesterday, but you guys did realise he had an injury in the warm up, don't you? That's why he didn't come off the bench.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
He had an injury in the warm up yesterday, and that's why he wasn't risked. He was amongst the substitutes, but was never risked. So all this rubbish coming out about why Timo Werner didn't play, him and Thomas Tuchel have fallen out. Utter nonsense. If Timo Werner does leave Chelsea in the summer, it's because Tuchel probably will think he won't fit his system anymore, or he thinks he just needs to move on. I don't think it's going to be because they had a fallout. And one more thing I just want to raise before you guys go off on the Rudiger situation. I don't know if you guys caught his interview yesterday after the match. He was speaking to the cameras, and they were asked about his situation. And one guy asked him from Sky, "Do you think you'll stay? Is there a possibility that you may be able to stay at Chelsea next season?" And he actually came out and said, "Look, the whole situation with him is is that it had nothing to do with the sanctions," was his words, and then it kind of like cut off. So it was nothing to do with the sanctions why he did not stay. So there's obviously something else in the background of why he did not stay, and I think it's all down to the club could have done agreement with him long before the sanctions came in, but just didn't bother doing it. And again, we can count on. Obviously, we can thank Marina Graviskaya for that, because I would have thought she'd have tried to get that deal wrapped up. But that's the only reason why. And he didn't give too much on it. Obviously, it was just that I loved it. You know, he loves the club. He's obviously gutted. He's got to go. You know, and Chelsea made him a play. He made Chelsea a team as well. But the main reason why is it was nothing to do with the sanctions. And if you guys have not gone and seen that, go and get a clip on it on YouTube. I do believe that it'll be on there. And that question was asked at him. So go and see that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, DJ. I've seen it. And it's Marino's fault. They should have done the deal before. They let the great man go. It's unbelievable. I'm gutted. He was my favorite player. Yeah. Marino's all to blame for that.
So Nick, while you are at it, Nick, let me ask you this question. I think I'll let Bobby round up for us today. I think let me go to Fahim first, then I'll come to you, Nick. Fahim, tell us why you think we lost that game.
Yeah, we didn't really we didn't really score from our chances. I think that's what we have to agree on. We created chances, so did Liverpool. They created chances. They missed a lot of chances as well. We were lucky that we were not 1-0 down or 2-0 down in the first 20, 30 minutes of the game. But the front three, they weren't really being cohesive enough with the rest of the players. The players behind Alonso, Reece James, Kovacic, Jorginho, they were all doing their part. It was just the front three didn't really click. They didn't click enough, and I think that was the problem. Going into the penalty, look, like Mason Mount missing that penalty, that's on him, because honestly, like, you shouldn't be thinking about, oh, let me do this sort of step up and then confuse it. No, just do it simple. Come on. Jorginho did it simple. If he did his hop and skip thing and he missed, we would all be on Jorginho. Mason Mount tiptoeing before the kick makes no sense, so he has to get some blame for missing that penalty. So at the end of the day, people are mentioning about Lewandowski. As much as I do really want Lewandowski in this team, we still have the problem in midfield, which is creativity. The reason we play three at the back, we just don't have enough midfielders in this team. When Jorginho's out, who do we bring on? We bring on Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Like, if this is Man City or Liverpool, they would bring on someone better. And that's the problem with our team. When we have our fully fit team with Chilwell on the left, Reece James, and there's no, let's say, Rudiger going to thinking about Madrid. For example, the Arsenal game, everyone was playing well. That was our strong team. Any player that comes out from that team, we capitulate. Let's say Chilwell coming off for Alonso. I mean, even Alonso played well, but it's the capitulation that we have when our first team players come out of this team and we bring in, put in backup players. And you alluded to it, Coach, that we have starters and backups, and that's the problem we have. That's the gap that we have. That's the gap between us and Liverpool, Man City. They don't really have backups. They have starters on the bench as well, but we don't have that. And I think we need to sort this creativity issue in this summer. Bring in midfielders that can create chances for attackers as well, and not have this issue of starters and backup, the drop in quality. So yeah, just hope I'm just more excited about this summer. I honestly don't care about the Premier League now. I was looking forward for Chelsea to step up yesterday, but they didn't. So it is what it is.
Yeah, thank you very much for that input there. Nick, coming to you, we're in the final segment now. We'll round off in about 10 minutes or so, or even less. Nick, tell us now, we understand that it's a mentality issue, if you ask me, from the one against Arsenal. Yeah, the referee was poor, but then again, we didn't do enough to win the game, because the truth is, if you do enough to win a game, the referees, poor officiating will have to be, the referee will have to be, that is blatantly, or however I phrase it, against you, for you to, basically lose because of what they did. So Nick seemed to, we've lost Nick. So I'm going to come to you, DJ.
Yeah.
Again, maybe I've asked you this question before.
Sure.
I'll go back to Nick. Okay, Nick, can you hear what I'm saying?
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
So the question now is, I think,
again.
Yeah, I think we can all say it's a mentality issue. What do you think, Nick?
Yeah,
Nick
sure.
what do you think should be done to solve that problem so that it doesn't happen again? Because the truth is, if you ask me, I'd say if this same crop of players remain and will make it to the FA Cup final coming season, I think it will happen again. If it is really indeed a mentality issue. So your thoughts, Nick, what do you think needs to be done for that not to happen again?
Yeah, well, like we said before, Bowley promised to back Tuchel. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of players going out, not just Barclays, Bakayoko, Batshuayi and all them, but from the main team. I can see Werner going, Ruben going, Hudson-Odoi maybe going, if he doesn't want to loan. I think his future is not at Chelsea. I know he's young, but that big injury, he's going to, he won't be the same player or even get close to it. We need a revamp. And we need, we heard Perisic could be coming in. That's one. I don't mind. He's a good player. I like him. All right, he's old. He's 33, I know. But we need players, big players. I want to see Rudiger's going. I want to see Koulibaly, Chouameni, Koundé. I think we will be the first signing. So, and like I keep saying, I want to see a top striker like Lewandowski, hopefully, who can score goals. Because the rest of them are good players. I don't want to get rid of Kovac. You know, he's got a great future still, a great player. He's been one of our best this year with Thiago Silva. And we got and Kanté. Kanté is going to be on the bench a lot next year, but he will come. We're going to need him in the big games. And Jorginho, I hope he doesn't go because I still think he's a great player. I think that Tuchel has to go. Not only bring the players in, he has to get them to play together. It won't be easy, but he's got the pre-season this time. Even if Lukaku stays, at least he's got pre-season with Tuchel and the rest of the team to do something. If not, bring me Lewandowski, please. I can see, like DJ said, it won't be the same next year. We're going to bounce back. We always bounce back after a full season. And for us, it really hasn't been full because all the problems we had, COVID, games that forced us to play, sanctions, injuries with our top players. When we lost them at the wrong time, it would have been a different story. But we won the Super Cup, we won the World Club Cup. So Tuchel has done miracles really with the players which he inherited. Don't forget, these are not Tuchel's players. I'll keep saying it, and we're going to see next year. We can judge Thomas Tuchel next year when he has his own team, and I can't wait for it. I still want to finish third this year. I think we're going to win the last two games. Leicester, Watford. I'll be really shocked if we lose one of them games or draw. We have to finish off in a good way, just for the sake of it, and finishing third. We don't need Tottenham to finish above us. They're winning right now, I see. And it looks like it's going to be Arsenal or Tottenham for fourth place. But, yeah. So, we had a bad season, but we're third.
Yeah. Your comment.
Not many clubs can say that. All the problems we had this year. So, we mustn't forget the problems these players have had. Mentally, not knowing who's the owner, Abramovich going like that. Because it affected them. But there's no excuses for yesterday's performance. Yeah, we should have won that cup, and any other day we would have. But the mentality wasn't there. That's the thing. Yeah, go Coach.
Yeah, I think you make a good comment. And your comment that what Tuchel did was a miracle reminded me of Bobby's comment. I think it was before the UEFA Champions League final. I think he did say something as if we win at that final, it will be a miracle because we really didn't have the squad then. I think, Bobby, correct me if I misquote you, but I think that was your comment before the UEFA Champions League final, something similar. I could be wrong, but I remember you saying something about Tuchel performing a miracle with the squad.
Yeah,
He has.
Absolutely. He's been pulling rabbits out of a hat since he got here. We had the transfer season. We had an enormous opportunity as European champions to strengthen. Now, at the beginning of the season, you see, I don't care whether you're a man, a woman, or whatever in the boardroom. I just care that you do a good job for Chelsea. And at the beginning of the season, I used to warn about Marina. I'm like, look, she's taking too long. This isn't right. And people were so bogged down into this propaganda. I don't know how to describe it. That she's some sort of great negotiator. And I'm saying, no, this isn't how it's done. I warned about her and I was attacked. Excuse me. I was called a misogynist. People insulting me on Twitter. One or two people, it became so much I had to block them. Honestly, I don't care about these things. I will speak my mind for what I think is for the good of the club. I'm none of those things. I'm just straight up and honest for the good of Chelsea. She has cost us quite significantly certain important things. And certainly from that interview with Rudiger, you could see he was hurting, one, for the loss of the game, and two, for the way he was handled by the board. I think he felt he was so disrespected that he was pushed out of Chelsea. But, it is what it is. I don't know if we're going to bounce back. Why? Because I need to see evidence of what we're going to do this summer. I think that's key. If we do the right things, you see, the purchase of Chelsea is expensive enough. Now, there has to be a big investment to get this team where it should be. People are talking about Tchouameni, Rice, and so on. I think Thomas Tuchel has to have a good look at people like Ampadu in midfield when he gets back. Definitely, we have to retain Conor Gallagher. And I hear Nick. I hear Nick loud and clear. I am so much of a Callum Hudson-Odoi fan, but he's not been good enough at all. And if we get the likes of Dybala or Dembele in, he's going to have to go out on loan because clearly the injury he had hasn't yet really got out of his mind, and he needs to play maybe in a less pressured situation to get his stride back. That's just it. I've heard about Koulibaly. I don't know, what's going on there. There's this guy, is it Joska, the Croatian, is he a Croatian centre back, 6'3", left-footed centre back. And there's the one from Wolves as well. Wolves have some good players. If he's on the radar, but I just want to see us do some solid business, some business that when they come into Chelsea, you feel comfortable, not drink water. and Bakayoko. People that come in and you're praying. Even Perisic.
Yeah.
He's coming in and we're hoping.
Coach, so Bobby, can I just say one word before you finish the stream? Yeah, just Viola, that's the best words I heard you say about Declan Rice. We don't need no one to bench Rice, please. Yeah, I keep saying he's not worth that money. He's overrated. We don't need another Mason Mount boyfriend next to him. Mount's got enough problems as it is.
That's harsh on Mason Mount, bro.
No, he's
really
not.
harsh.
He's not.
Really harsh.
We don't need two friends, going, I can imagine them together. God, man. No way. Bring me Tchouameni any day.
I want Tchouameni over Declan Rice. I've said that from the beginning. I want Tchouameni over Declan Rice.
Go ahead, Bobby. Let's let Bobby finish, and then DJ will round up for us today because Bobby took his spot because he was responding to stuff. Go ahead, Bobby.
No, I've said a lot of what I can say. The only other thing I will say finally is we can't take third place for granted. The mentality of this team has shaken my confidence, and I think Thomas Tuchel really, really, really has to talk to the team to keep their focus in order to at least get that point to secure top four. I would prefer we do win our last two games just to be third. But, I'm not going to hold my breath. Look what happened against Wolves at home. So we've got to be careful here. I hear Tottenham's 1-0 up as we speak against Burnley.
The game has ended and they've won 1-0.
Oh, there you go. So, we've got to be on our toes. It's not over yet for the season.
Yeah, it's not over yet. And that update, before I checked it, I saw this message from Chama Joseph. So, DJ, your thoughts, what can be done to fix the mentality issue? Because no matter how you say it, it is indeed a mentality issue. Again, a prime example on why I say it's a mentality issue. If you look at how we play against our bottom table teams and mid-table teams who play, it looks like we're going to the games feeling like we've won it already. And then we get the surprises of our lives. But when we play Liverpool, Manchester United, the big names in the league, you see the best of Chelsea Football Club. Real Madrid also, even in the Champions League, see the best of Chelsea Football Club. But when we play the teams that are at the bottom of the table, mid-table, it just seems as if, like I said, we go into the games with the mindset that we've already won the game. So you go ahead and let us know, what do you think can be done to solve that problem?
Yeah, listen, Coach, it's 100% right on this mentality thing with Chelsea. Look, I've only seen this happen with us now. I mean, I do believe it's probably been worse this season than anything else, because last season the same team won the Champions League. And I know you're saying, it's always against the smaller clubs. There are times when, I think, especially under the Jose era, I'm going to go back to the Jose era because everyone knows that era very well. We were winning every match on the table. It was no such thing as small team, big team. Every match would turn up and either will win those games. I think of late, a lot of the situation of this season, there's a lot of things that have not helped this season. We've obviously had the whole thing with the sanctions. It's not an excuse, but that's had effect on the players, because obviously they're thinking about their futures, what's going to happen to them. And sometimes it can play an effect to some degree. And it's not an excuse. It's a fact. It's 100% the facts, because like Nick's alluded to, I can't for me believe Manchester City and Liverpool players would be able to put up with this had that happened to their football clubs. Yeah. But for what we did before that, let's not forget, before these sanctions had happened, Chelsea, before anything had happened, we were winning these games. It's just when we came back from the second international break, after the last international break is when things started going wrong. We got thumped by Brentford at home. Who would ever imagine being thumped by Brentford? And that's where I think our downfall all began. So for me, look, next season, we need to go into the season next season strong-minded. I do believe we have. We will, sorry. We've got the manager to do that. We've got the players there. There are some that are going to have to leave, as Bobby said, and we've all said, they're going to have some that will have to leave. Cho, people talk about Callum Hudson-Odoi. Yes, he's had that bad injury. I, for one, think he needs to get a loan next season. I wouldn't sell him. I seriously would not sell him. I think I'll just loan him out, because I still think he's a good talent. I think, he gets that loan next season to wherever it may be. He'll come back stronger at Chelsea the following season. So I'd keep him on. What I will also say is, obviously, we also got to say, it's another thing to say, it's goodbye to an era of Roman Abramovich, because the one thing I'd like to say is, is at least we've managed to get that World Club tournament trophy that we needed to get under the Roman era, and he's now not going to be obviously our owner from now on. So a new era begins with Todd Bowley next season. Okay, and this is where it all has to start all over again. And I believe we'll get the right players in the summer. I've also said I think the players will be there. I think Koundé, will be a deal that will get wrapped up. Obviously, there's talk of Koulibaly possibly coming in to help that centre-back situation. Now that Rudiger's not there, there's talk of him coming in. There's also the boy from Torino. I think it's Torino, the Brazilian boy who's been mentioned as well. He's another one that's a replacement. I do replacement for Rudiger to come in there as well. There's also the midfield. Obviously, we talked about the midfield. I've always said, I've got nothing against Declan Rice. I think he's a top-notch player. I just think he's not worth the money that West Ham are asking for him. I do believe Tchouameni's the guy who can come in and do that. There's obviously the mention of Sangara, who's been mentioned as well. There's also talk of Kamara on a free. He's another one we could go out and get, but I do believe Manchester United could be getting him. But he could be another option that could come in on a free, another young, talented midfielder. And again, in terms of midfielders to go, I wouldn't get rid of Kante. I think Kante, for me, is the guy who those midfielders would learn from, especially if you're likes of a Tchouameni and a Kamara. If you're bringing those two in, they can learn off him and, watch how he plays the game. He's not going to get much game time next season. We've already said that. He'll get the odd game here and there, but he's still a good player to keep around the squad. I think Nick, nothing against Jorginho. I'd love him to stay, but I believe he wants to go back to Italy. He said that he said that already. He wants to go back there. I think Juventus are favourites for his signature as well. I think he'll be gone next season. But look, we're going to, no doubt for me, we're going to bring the players in next season. We do need to bring another striker in, another attacking player, to get the goals. I think if obviously Lukaku doesn't seem to, people say give Lukaku another season. Have we got that time to give Lukaku another season? I don't know. Is he going to change next season? Again, I don't know. Big question marks over him. I think if Lewandowski comes in, for me, he starts over Lukaku any day. I would also bring Broja back to learn from Lewandowski as well. Another one. Obviously, Conor Gallagher to come back in at midfield next season as well. So we have got the players. I do believe we'll go big next season. We're not. For me, I don't think we're far off Manchester City and Liverpool. I think, we get those players, and we need to keep Thomas Tuchel. And I've said this already. Thomas Tuchel, for me, is the main part in this whole setup for next season. He needs to be given a new contract. He needs to have his title changed from head coach to manager. Let him manage, and we need to change our scouting team. We need to bring some other scouts in there to scout the best players around in Europe. For me, I think our scouting team has let us down. I mean, you only have to hear that when you're saying our scouting team has scouted Saul Niguez for the last 2 years. I'm thinking to myself, how you can be scouting Saul Niguez for the last 2 years when everybody knows who he is? Yeah, I don't understand how they're scouting on him. And the same scouting team apparently said that Haaland wasn't good enough for Chelsea, if that is true as well. Again, I don't believe that for a second, but if they did say that, it just tells you this scouting team doesn't know what they're doing. So we need to get that changed as well for next season. And I do believe we have got the tools to do it. As I said, we've got the manager there, and we will come strong next season. We're not far off. I do believe we'll finish third as well. I think the next 2 games that we play, Watford and Leicester, we'll win them both. I'm confident about that. And we'll finish in third spot. And, the place can start all over again. And let's not forget next season, guys, it's going to be a funny one because I do believe the World Cup starts in December next year, if I'm correct. So that's going to be a bit of a strange one next season as well, how that's all going to pan out. So let's see how that all goes as well. So for me, look, on my final saying it all, we've got the tools there for the manager. We just need to bring the right players in to complement him. And I do believe we will do that. So we will come strong next season, 100%.
Yeah, and that's a great input, great way to round off the show. But I want to read this from True Blue, Just Viola. Yes, Mendy does that. Just Viola said something about Mendy squatting. He got his hands to 2 penalties, but squatting prevents him getting across fully. I also hoped, knowing Mane, he would save his penalty. Every bit as bad as Mason's penalty. Yep. Again, thank you very much for everybody on the panel, from my brother DJ to my brother Bobby and to my brother Nick. I love you all, and I appreciate you all finding the time to join the panel today. And to everybody in the chat, from Jos Viola to Ike, IC, True Blue, Choma, Yosef, and to every other person that's been in the chat, I cannot thank you enough. You provide great value to the show, and I hope to see you guys tomorrow for another Blue Morning show. Again, to everybody in the channel, I will remember to add your information to the description section. And if you can see here, you can also see their Twitter handles. Follow them, DJ Sar, follow Bobby, also follow Nick, and also, of course, follow Chelsea Perspective. Again, thank you for a great show today. This is the first time for almost, I think, 3 weeks now, the first Blue Morning show for a while. And another one comes up tomorrow because we're back. Thank you again. God bless us all. See you guys tomorrow. And
Peace out,
bye.
everyone.
Yeah,
Take
bye.
care.
Peace.
Okay, guys.